1 second, having trouble with the live video cam. We can hear you, but the video camera right now is acting.
Is it knocked out?
So I didn't like the Hockey Hall of Fame, or not, or the NFL, Hall
NFL
of Fame.
one's all right.
I think it
So
was
we were there and
okay.
it rained, so we didn't get to enjoy any of the outside stuff. What I did think was cool.
All right, so it says Creed.
So there's an entire field outside that you kind of get to go run around on. Like it was.
from PHILA period.
Good evening and welcome to another episode of the Santa Booed First podcast, coming to you live from the Crack Bell Production Studios in beautiful downtown Willow Grove. On this wonderful Thursday evening, lots to talk about. This is your co-host for the evening, Jim Marcus. We got some guests in the studio with us tonight. To my immediate right is the young Marcus. Brody, man, what's up?
What's up?
We're going to talk some draft. You got some knowledge for us?
Yeah.
To his right, we got in the room with us
He's
Ryan.
a natural.
He's a natural. Ryan, now, is it Smith? And you're Smitty?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
There you go. Yep.
Smitty. So Smitty's a guy that for all of our loyal listeners and followers, Smitty's always engaged with our show. And we love it. We appreciate you. Thank you for listening. And we want to get in here. We wanted to have you in here to chop it up with us. You seem very knowledgeable. You always make some good points. So excited to have you in here with us.
Thanks for having me.
We're gonna do a lightning round quiz to make sure you can stay though. So just stay put for a second there. To his right, we got DJ. What up? The Don.
What's up? How we doing?
Don, sorry.
Young Don.
The young Don?
The
The young Don.
The Don works.
Don works.
The Don works, but he's the young Don.
He is the young Don. And that other voice you hear is Mr. The One, Steve Librand
What's
from the
up?
Sarcast podcast.
I'm gonna do my best to not get hammered. The last
Not
time I
get-
was on your show,
I think you're almost halfway there, though.
I'm not. I'm actually
No,
good.
all
I'm
right.
actually good.
All right.
The last time though, yeah,
Last
it was.
time-
It was.
The last couple times we had
It's true.
extended.
There's actually a theme.
there is a bit of a theme. to
Yeah.
it.
I'm like the drunk uncle who
Just-
starts off good, but
yeah.
you're at the end. You're just like, somebody needs to call this dude an Uber. Like,
Get Uncle Steve out of here.
Get Uncle Steve out of here.
Start putting water in that rather than
Yes.
straight vodka.
Hey, listen, I'm not gonna lie. If you start watering me down, I probably wouldn't even notice.
All
So
right.
I don't know if like your audience knows. Before your show, we do our show, so we have an hour of drinking ahead of when you guys start. So
You could wait for us to start drinking. I mean, you don't have to
Yeah,
drink
that's
that hour,
true.
but
yeah, no,
That's
still
your
gonna, I'm
choice.
gonna drink right
That's
from
your-
the gate.
that's the
Right
pregame.
right at 6 p.m. on Thursday
That's
night.
the
When it
pregame.
starts. All right. And speaking of drinking, let me thank our sponsors before we keep going. So, sponsored by InsurePhilly.com, the NPM agency, up to 10 quotes in about 10 minutes for all your insurance needs. Check out Matt Maloney. We got you covered. And then keeping us hydrated and libated. Is that a word? I'm making stuff up now.
I like it.
Pops McCann's Fine Irish Whiskey.
And happy birthday to Jay Fogg, proprietor of Pops McCann and Toastmaster General.
Yes, I like that. Toastmaster
Toastmaster
General.
Yeah, he had a birthday yesterday.
Yes, big
Happy
4-1.
birthday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday. So, yeah, cheers to Jay.
Cheers to
Cheers
Jay.
to Jay.
Where's yours, Brody?
Got a juice box in here for you. Deke couldn't make it tonight because you know Deke. He was asked to coach 5th and 6th grade girls volleyball. Deke would coach Underwood or thumb wrestling if somebody
Yeah.
asked him to do it. So
Would he coach rock paper scissors just to check the competitiveness
I
of
think
a kindergartner?
He might.
he looks like a rock paper scissors kind of guy.
He's totally, but he doesn't call it rock paper scissors. He's a Rochambeau guy. Like he's a Rochambeau. He'll get mad if you call it rock paper scissors.
Even when
That's
he's
not
not
the
on
name.
the show. Even when he's not even here, he's still
That's not the name.
getting it.
In the late 1800s, we called it Rochambeau.
All right, before we get started, I said I got some lightning round questions for you, Smitty, to see if you fit in with this show.
Is
so
this the
nervous.
initiation?
I'm nervous for you,
These
Schmitty,
are-
because I'm
are you-
not gonna lie. I've never had to do a lightning round. They just accepted me for who I am. You, however, are not getting that. You're not getting
Initiation.
that courtesy.
You're going to be a part of this.
Oh, I got to answer
Yeah,
too.
You've
Oh,
had
shit.
these conversations with us.
Yes.
These is just running themes through our show, and I'm sure
It's fair.
you've heard some of it.
Oh, I
as
know.
much
It.
as you
I know.
listen.
I already know what you're
Yeah,
getting.
So-
I don't know. 'Cause,
It's you'll be all right. You'll
All
be
right.
all right.
He's got a 100-yard stare right now.
Drums or flats?
drums.
Flats.
I don't even know if I want to go to question number 2. It's got to be flats.
So I like the
It's
easiness
split.
of a drum,
It's split on the show.
but I think the flavor and the taste is better on a flat.
I prefer the
there's
Really?
more. There's more meat on a flat.
Listen, it's difficult to bang out a flat.
They're more efficient.
What are you talking about? You just
Like it's
eat
hard to eat a flat.
It's
No,
easier to
no,
eat a
it's not.
drumstick, right.
That's what I said. For
Right.
ease of use, it's better to go
It
with the
is
drumstick,
not.
but the flat tastes better.
There's more fat on a drum.
What's Deke say?
What's easier to
Proper
eat?
He's a drum guy.
He's a drum guy.
there
It's
you go.
easier to eat the drum.
Deke
It's
is not.
not the logic of reason. No, no.
So it took me
Deke's the
38
godfather
years,
of the
39
show.
years to learn how to eat a flat properly.
Are you kidding me?
Push it.
So you have, I didn't know.
Are you sure you're not
See, that's
just?
I'm dead ass serious. So
It
I
took
would
you
always
39 How long did it take you to tie your shoes?
he's still working on it.
Yeah.
He's got the
I'm like-
Velcros on.
I don't even wear shoes. If I can't slide it on, I'm not putting it on my feet. Who's got time for tying shoes? But like, it took me a long time to realize that you can bite one end and pull.
Yeah, just slide it.
I didn't know that.
Oh
Like,
my
I was
gosh.
totally, I'm going to go two hands and I'm going to go straight at the middle. I didn't know.
Oh my God. Rookies.
Now,
And if I'm drunk on a
rookies
Friday
like the
night, I'll go
drumsticks.
top to bottom just for practice.
Rookies like the
And only the
drumsticks.
adults in the room know what I mean.
She shamed you on camera for that.
Top to bottom.
Oh, jeez.
All right, second question. MJ or LBJ?
MJ.
All right, good. Good.
LBJ.
Yeah.
All right,
Not
good.
even
Oh!
not-
Wait.
even
What?
After
Steve
what
just-
LBJ did last night,
Steve just said. Steve
Listen,
just
I'm not a
said-
fan of what he did in his personal stuff.
We're
but
talking
LBJ.
player.
LBJ's a better player.
All right,
All right.
Steve.
I can honestly
Wait,
explain
you
it
had
very
LBJ
quickly.
Over Michael?
I can
Dude.
explain it very quickly.
I bring up LeBron like once a show.
So I'll
Wait,
just say
wait,
this.
you're-
Here's my
Wait, we have another LeBron sexual.
yes.
Not that
So
far.
here's the way that I equate it to. Tom Brady in football is an absolute stud. He's a winner. He's the greatest winning quarterback I've ever seen in my life.
Okay.
But my eyes will tell me that he's not the most talented quarterback I've ever seen.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aaron
Your
Rodgers
eyes will
said
tell
more
you
talent.
that when you look at him, you go, he's a
So-
winner. He finds a way to come through. He's the greatest winning quarterback I've ever seen. But from a talent standpoint, he's not it.
So,
Yeah.
I mean,
When I look at Jordan and I go, Jordan's crazy talented and he's a friggin'
but
winner.
Jordan also doesn't have to surround himself every time with three superstars.
No,
Are you gonna tell me that Scottie Pippen?
Dennis Rodman,
the-
Steve Kerr.
Tony Kukoc.
this
We'll
was
get
Horace
into this
Grant.
some other
this was
time.
lightning round.
Yeah, we'll get into
we
it
keep
another
saying we're
time.
gonna have a whole other show on this debate.
I want to be
because
there for the
You-
other
you wanna
debate because
Yeah, I want.
the young Don needs help. He's
Where
going
are
to be
you
by
at?
himself.
I'm an
I'm
MJ
with you
guy.
on
I'm
it.
an MJ. For
My
sure.
eyes tell me that LeBron is the most talented player I've ever seen. Jordan's the greatest winner. He's the greatest
Oh.
player, but LeBron's the most talented I've ever seen.
LeBron wouldn't be able to hang in
So
the
this
old
is-
school. Bang.
LeBron would be the
He'd be
most dominant
crying.
player in any era.
No way.
No.
He would spend most of his time crying.
His size and ability,
Come on, man, you're young. Be
We're
on
just
the
gonna say
young
Steph
side.
Curry.
MJ.
his size and his ability would tell you totally different. So LeBron's size and what he does, he would have been the greatest power forward to ever play the game if he played power forward.
He's undersized as a power forward, though.
Yeah, but so was Charles Barkley.
No, he was like
he'd
a
be
stretch
spending-
three.
he'd be spending
Charles
his whole-
Barkley was a 6'4" power forward.
He's stretch three.
He played power
All
forward.
right.
LeBron be flopping.
Different era.
I want to be here for that. But, next question.
Joe White said he's happy that you got the early LeBron reference in.
Steve, move past it. We're done the lightning round.
I'm ready to go.
All right, Scrapple, yes or no? You can't look around the room. This is lightning round.
No, I don't
No?
need scrap.
Oh, man. All right, I got a better center, all-time Eagles center. Jason Kelsey or Chuck Bednarik?
Chuck Bednarik.
Oh, come on,
Kelsey.
At least you got that
Kelsey, come on.
Kelsey.
All right,
one. Chuck Bednarik's in
Were
the
you-
Hall of Fame.
Kelsey.
he's a linebacker.
But
Let's
he was
get
a-
over the centerpiece.
great
Ah,
center,
all right, your
too.
dad's not here. Let's cut that.
I got
cut the
speed
You don't, have to,
conversation.
you don't have to hide it anymore.
Were you happy with Andy Reid? Andy
Andy
Reid.
Ooh, that's a
Yesterday
420
was
reference.
funny. Yesterday was
Was
funny.
I happy when Andy Reid won
Listen, I
the
would have
Super
been
Bowl?
up
Yes.
in local
No.
cannabis shop and buy some
Yeah.
Andy Weed.
I was not. No, I
No.
could give two
I wish he
flaming
was at home
turds.
taking care of his kids, but
Yeah.
that's for another day.
All right, last one. Greatest Eagle of all time. There's no right or wrong until we decide what you
Well,
answer.
yeah, there could be.
Greatest Eagle of all time, like we're talking talent or just represents
To
everything.
you,
Just
I would
the
say
Eagle.
Brian Dawkins for me.
Dawkins. Good choice. Good choice.
No.
I was thinking Reggie.
If somebody put
You really believe that?
Oh God.
I was
I
gonna
thought
say.
this was
now this,
over.
I was
this,
gonna
this
say.
is this is the last one, and this is kind of like a trick question here because there's a couple things in here you got to read into.
Okay.
If somebody put Kensington shrimp in front of you, how would you eat them?
He doesn't know what Kensington
That's-
shrimp is.
that's-
Yeah, right.
All right.
So he's puzzled right there alone.
Right.
Cheese curls.
Cheese curls, cheesy puffs.
How would I eat them?
How would you eat them? Are you?
There's no wrong answer.
You can either be a normal human being or a psycho. How would you eat them
Do you know
if
the
you were
answer
a
to this?
psycho?
Is this a trick
Young Don?
question?
Yeah, I don't
No,
know
it's
if I'd
not.
eat them. I don't know if
You
I
don't like cheese curls?
You eat them with your
Not
hands.
Kensington
Do you have
cheese
to?
curls.
What are you eating with a fork?
Yeah.
You eat cheese curds with a fork.
Yes.
Oh God. What the-
You eat like the cheese balls,
Yes.
Not cheese balls.
cheese curds.
Cheese
what do you-
curls.
so
He
you-
stays away from the
you-
balls.
So you
Wait, so if you get a bag of Cheetos,
you take a fork into
And
the
you-
cheese curl.
So
and
this
eat
is
it.
crazy.
Are you-
Cheetos.
wait, hold on.
Cheetos, I won't eat with a fork.
Are you crunchy or puff?
I'll do both.
You're
We're
a puff.
talking.
I'll do
puffs
both. I don't
now.
mind either one.
Wuss.
This question is puffs though.
If it's puffs, I'm eating it with a fork, and I'll
Oh
tell
my
you why.
god.
I'll
Dude.
tell you why. Can I explain why?
Oh,
Go
With a
ahead.
fork.
Why do you eat with a? Why do you eat? You're a psychopath. You eat it
So-
with a fork.
If I'm out and about, I've got a bag. I'll just dump it into my mouth one at a time.
All right.
So I don't want to get the cheese all over my fingers.
Or you could just lick your finger.
Yeah,
There-
seriously.
I don't want to. I don't want to do
So
that.
you'd rather take a fork for a cheese ball, put it and
Let me ask you a question. Have you ever eaten cheese balls with a fork?
No.
no.
Have you ever done it?
I'm gonna try it now.
You
'cause
should.
said it.
I'm not gonna lie to you. When you're sitting there and you're watching a Sixers game and you're complaining and you're like, this guy, and then you see all the cheese just dripping off your fingers. Looks like
I
confetti
feel
or
like
sparks.
the fork will just create crumbs.
No, it doesn't. Listen,
He's
the cheese curls are built to withstand a stabbing. So you can hit them hard with the
This is-
fork,
All right. Yeah.
Like I just go in my hand.
and then your
like eating
fingers are all
popcorn.
nasty, and
I
then you
can't-
gotta lick your fingers, and no.
I like licking them off.
No. No. See, Brody, you're
That's the
wrong.
extra.
You're
That's
wrong,
the
Brody.
extra.
That comes in handy
that
later.
gives you the extra flavor.
It doesn't. It doesn't. It's just caked cheese dust.
that's just
It's
you have,
disgusting.
you have issues. It's psychos.
Just for the record, I also cut all the meat off of my ribs. And
Yeah,
then
I
eat the
wasn't.
meat.
I wasn't going to completely call you out.
Do you
but
have your wife cut off the crust of your sandwiches?
There's nothing
Yeah,
more
you
embarrassing.
do.
I don't.
Yeah, you do.
He, like,
You
cuts
do.
the crust off the pizza.
So here's the
before
most
it.
embarrassing
Serious.
thing that I'll ever admit to. My wife and I will go out to a restaurant and we'll both get a rack of ribs, and we'll both go He-Man.
Every
She has
restaurant
issues.
you go to, you get a rack of ribs. That's your order.
Not
And you-
everyone.
And you,
Okay.
cut, and do you cut them or do you use your hands?
So I cut them, and she's got sauce everywhere, and she's eating them like a man would, and basically like she pays the check.
So she wears the pants.
100%.
All right, well,
I look like the
Steve
biggest.
drives home.
Yeah. I look like the
Steve picks up the kids, takes
Yeah.
the babysitter
I'm
home.
drinking a Chardonnay and she's pounding beers and shots one after another.
Are
Like,
you in trouble? Do you need to score points? Is that why you're saying?
No, I
This is-
swear to
okay.
God, I don't. Like
All
when we go out, like she'll get messy with the ribs, doesn't care. She'll cut one off or rip one off, and she's sauce
for her.
everywhere.
Eat them like ribs are meant to be.
Yeah,
Right.
eaten.
But
seriously.
like my point is like why? I don't
How
have
does she?
to.
How does she eat her cheese puffs? With a fork?
No, with their fingers.
Exactly.
Just like a real
But
person.
listen, I'm a civilized, distinguished gentleman.
I'd have to beg to differ after listening to your
Dude,
podcast a couple of weeks
you-
ago.
Just don't judge me, young
I'm
Don.
not, I am not judging. I'm not one to judge, but I question. I'll question.
Listen, question away. This conversation wouldn't have even been brought up if my man wasn't trying to roast me. He
an
brought
issue.
this up
I just wanted to
specifically
bring
to
you up.
embarrass me.
It's an initiation.
Bringing you into the conversation, making Smitty feel a part of the team.
You found this out 2.5 years ago, and you've never let it go.
No, and you're not
I want
gonna.
to know how it
You're
got
not
called
gonna.
Kensington Shrimp.
We always call them Kenzo shrimps.
Is that like down there? I never heard
Wow.
them call that. I'm in
You don't-
Northeast
Julietta
Philly.
Jays.
Yeah, you don't hang
Parkway.
around in Kensington, right?
Not,
Nobody
not-
does anymore.
not very often. No.
That's just what we've known
All
them
right.
as.
That's weird.
All right, should we get into some sports now?
Yeah,
That's
I
what we're here
guess.
for.
Yeah.
Real quick before we move on,
Yeah, what do you got? What do you got? What do you got?
they actually sell like things that you can put on your fingers because I'm not the only one. It's an actual thing.
Oh yeah, I've seen this.
You can get them.
Yeah,
They
they're
actually they
little
go on your
things.
fingers.
You
They're like
buy a bag of cheese
You might as
puffs, you
well-
get a fork for free. Like
it's not a fork. They're like finger grips,
Dude,
and you can use them
next
to
time-
grab them out, so that way you don't get the cheese
Next
all over
time,
your fingers.
next time you eat your ribs, too, make sure you're wearing your baby bib.
I will. I'll fire it out.
this is what's wrong with America. People eat cheese puffs with a fork.
I am the
God.
picture of what's wrong with them.
Jeez. We used to
I'm
be
gonna
so
wear that
badass.
badge like a purple heart.
honor.
Yeah.
All right. Football talk, boys.
Let's
Wanna
do
talk
some
some
football.
We're a week away from the draft.
Hammer a shot before I lay this pie
Yeah.
out.
Rock, paper, scissors for who goes first.
Yeah, right.
A little programming note. Santa Buddha First will not be on next Thursday. We will be down at the draft. We're talking about maybe doing like a live hit or something from down there in the stadium, but we'll see how that goes. So we will be down at the draft next Thursday in the link. So where are we at? We got
What are they doing for the draft?
They're
Are they going to
opening
put
up.
it on the big screen?
They're going to put it up on the
Yeah.
big digital screens, yeah, and
Nice.
Is it
seating in
open
the
to
lower
everybody,
bowl,
or like they doing limited seating like they are for other games?
limited seating,
Yeah,
opened it up to
limited.
season ticket holders.
Very cool.
Yeah. So we'll be down there. The crew from Santa will be down there, and we'll get some of the young boys in there with
You
us
should
too.
definitely go live. That'd be cool.
That's what, or I was even thinking maybe like do like a man on the street type thing. Just
I love it, dude.
grab
Just-
some random folks and
Do
say,
some
who do you think?
Facebook
Who do you think
Live,
you should? Yeah.
Facebook Live.
Who do you want to be drafted?
I know who I want.
Who do you want?
Am I dropping the grenade now?
No. I get.
Well, is it someone not on like the board?
It's not a somebody.
A kicker from
I
Vanderbilt.
kind of want. Listen, I want to
you
give
like a
Schmitty.
position.
I want to give Schmitty. I want to give Schmitty his. I want to give him leeway before I drop the grenade.
Of who you want?
No, it's not who I want. It's what I envision happening, and then I want to get out.
Oh.
I want to pull the room.
All right, you
Okay,
gave
I
it
already
away.
know where you're going.
Let's-
Yeah, you
I
gave it
know where
away.
you're going.
Well, let's go through the beginning of the draft. We'll just
Yeah,
start there,
yeah,
right?
let's
So
start at the
we
beginning. Yeah.
top three are quarterbacks.
Yeah.
We all agree top three are going to be quarterbacks.
Yes.
I would think
So
so.
I do think 3 is a wild card.
Why's that? Because they have Garoppolo still.
So I think that they're enamored with Justin Fields, and I think they kind of want to. But
think
I
they
can
will.
see it being. I can see them being in the room and talking themselves out of it.
Right. They're going to talk themselves out of Fields for Trey Lance.
See, now
So I can see them
No.
talking themselves out of drafting a quarterback altogether.
There's no way
Who
you
would they-
don't give up that compensation.
you
Because-
trade it up.
Yeah,
well, does
all
Wilson
those
go
picks.
to the Jets?
They give up 2 future first rounds, right, to move up. They didn't give that up for.
Listen, I'm with you, but I can see yourself. I can see a scenario where you talk yourself out of it.
For
You're
what?
here. Listen. I don't know, but I can see you saying I'm here. Like I don't want. I'm not trading all of that equity for the third best quarterback. I would have to think I'm trading that equity and I'm getting the best quarterback, or what I think is Justin Fields better than the other 2 guys?
No.
Right. So
no.
you traded that equity. You have the entire board. You can pick whatever you want because you already know the first 2 picks are going to be Lawrence and Zach Wilson.
Yeah,
Now-
awesome.
Now, one thing I would say that I kind of agree with.
That's
you is
appealing.
What San Francisco could do is if somebody really wants to move up, they could trade out. Like if somebody really wants Fields or Lance, maybe that's possible. I could see that. But I actually think the first 4.
I think they're enamored
I
by
think
Fields.
the first 4 picks are going to be quarterbacks if Fields doesn't go in the top 3.
That's
I think-
interesting. As I don't see Atlanta taking a quarterback.
I do.
See, I think
I love Brody.
back to
He fires it out. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
back to San Fran. I think there's 2 quarterbacks there where they're just like, I'm happy with either of these. That's why they trade up to that spot. They know Trevor's going at 1. They know Wilson's going 2. I'll take Mac Jones, or I'll take. Is it Trey Lance? Is it Fields? Because now,
So I'm, like,
you're
so
hearing these stories.
disgusted
I think
listening to
that's
you
too
talk.
high for Lance, but
I'm disgusted listening to you talk because when I heard Howie say that like the quarterbacks in the next 4 or 5 drafts are going to be terrible, but it just bugs me. the gut.
Every year,
I'm hearing 5 quarterbacks being thrown out there, and I'm like, oh, is this going to be a 5? This is going to be a 5 quarterback first round, right?
5.
at least you might. Well, no, Trask is probably falling now, right?
I would
Yeah.
say
Oh, yeah,
it's,
he's not
it's
going in the
probably
first round.
4.
But
I'd
it's
say
a 4.
It's
a
definitely
definite
4, right?
4 in the top 10.
But I think
4 in the top 10, but it could be 5.
No,
No.
because who else needs a quarterback in the top 10?
Atlanta doesn't need a
Broncos.
quarterback. They're still going to draft.
Yeah, they
one.
do.
Broncos need.
Broncos.
Well-
Brody again. The kid's on fire.
Coming with heat.
Love this kid. Why don't you guys bring him instead of Deke Everett?
He's coming for Andrew's seat.
Yeah.
He's legit said more today than Andrew has the entire season.
Andrew said, "What's up?"
Five,
And then that's
5 quarterbacks in the top 10. Maybe if New England trades in.
I think New England could trade up.
Yeah, but they would have
But
to
I
go.
think it depends on which quarterback.
The Bears could trade up
No,
because
well, they
Andy Dalton's a year, right? They're
True.
keeping him for a
but
year.
they said he's QB1.
Right, for this year.
Yeah,
I mean,
But-
the Eagles also said Wentz
but who
was
did the
QB1.
Patriots? Who did the Patriots trade in with? The Cowboys? They're not in the top 10 now.
Carolina.
Carolina,
Yeah,
the
I can-
Cowboys.
Yeah.
But do the Cowboys
Detroit?
want to trade out?
Yeah, what about Detroit if they just want
Detroit.
a lot of
I think
ammo
Detroit moves up.
for
So
All right, let's. So it sounds like
I don't know.
we
Yeah,
didn't, even get, we
quarterback.
didn't even get past pick 3 yet.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
wait, we didn't even get to pick 1.
So pick
Yeah.
4. You guys
Lawrence.
are you guys all thinking that Atlanta's going to take quarterbacks?
So-
I think
No,
they
I
go
don't-
Pitts.
I don't
How-
know.
How
I
many
think they go
years do you
Pitts.
think Ryan has left, Matt Ryan?
3.
2.
One.
So here,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
A half.
here's my.
So what's Matt Ryan? 33.
We were talking about.
I don't know.
I think. Did you
I
say
think-
32?
I think
I
he's,
think around
he's I
there.
think he's either 32 or 33. But here's my issue with Atlanta if they don't take a quarterback now. You take somebody like Kyle Pitts, right?
Mhm.
With Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, chances are they're going to be a pretty damn good team, right? Like 8-8, 9-7, 10-6. Do the Falcons ever get that opportunity now to draft a quarterback as high? This is your opportunity when you're in that top 5.
Yeah.
Atlanta's not getting in the top 5 again if they draft somebody
So-
like Pitts.
I would say this: if you're going to be a team that's going to draft a quarterback in the top 4 rather,
Right.
you need to trade Ryan now.
Maybe not for somebody like Justin
Yeah, but what's he
Fields.
get
But
to
you don't.
What's he
What I'm
get?
saying is, you don't trade that equity in drafting. You don't draft a quarterback at 4 knowing he's not going to play.
Yeah, but if
You
you're
drafted
trading
an
Matt
impact
Ryan-
player
If you
at that
think
point.
about it, the Eagles really were going to draft Wentz at 2 and not play him until Sam Bradford
Yeah.
got them a 1.
And that was a mistake too.
Right, and I mean, like,
well,
you,
how was it a mistake?
Because Bradford was a shit quarterback.
Yeah, but he got him a first round pick.
I don't care what
in
it
a
got him.
Super
I mean,
Bowl.
Goff didn't.
I don't care what fell in their lap afterwards. I literally saw this the other day pop up in my memories where I was like, this is the dumbest situation I've ever
So,
seen a team be in.
Did Baker Mayfield
You're going to
start
trade all the way
as a
up to
rookie?
2 to draft a quarterback that you're not going to play.
Might have because they had
I
Deshaun.
thought he did.
It was the first, like,
No, Baker
He
didn't.
started
Baker
in
Mayfield
week-
didn't start. They had the quarterback.
They had
that,
Kozer,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Deshaun
Yeah.
Kozer,
and
Kaiser,
Kaiser.
they had the
And,
other guy too.
Tyrod.
McCown,
Tyrod Taylor.
or
And then
Tyrod.
think-
It's Tyrod,
Oh, it's Tyrod.
not Tyrod.
Oh, okay.
Remember, he made that clarification.
And then he got hurt.
Sorry,
I think.
Tyrod.
Baker went
Yeah,
in.
it's still a bad decision.
Why though?
I don't think.
How
it's a
long
bad
did Aaron Rodgers sit for?
Right.
But Aaron Rodgers was drafted 24.
All right. Patrick Mahomes
So,
was drafted. what?
Mahomes top.
And he was-
he's
listen,
10.
Right.
He's 10.
Aaron Rodgers,
Yeah,
first off, is
yeah.
Matt Ryan a Hall of Famer?
If Eli Manning's a Hall of Famer, I think Matt Ryan's
No.
borderline.
Matt Ryan's never won a
he
Super
doesn't have a
Bowl.
Super Bowl.
Doesn't
Eli's
matter,
got
he
2.
won- He won MVP.
Eli's got
Yeah.
2
He's got a
Super
lot of
Bowls.
numbers
2 Super Bowls.
because of his defense.
I don't give a shit what it's because he's got 2 Super Bowls.
All right, Nick Foles has a Super Bowl.
He doesn't have 2.
Yeah, but he's got a Super Bowl and Super Bowl
He
MVP.
doesn't have 2.
Trent Dilfer
And
got
Eli
a Super
plays
Bowl.
Do you know how
New
many
York.
quarterbacks are in the Hall of Fame that don't have 2?
Who?
Joe Namath, Dan Marino,
Bar Moon.
Warren Moon.
Young? Did Young
Steve-
get 2? Or he only
Steve
get
Young,
the
Young.
he had to get 2. They went back
Drew
to back
Brees
with
is going to
him.
get into
With
the Hall of Fame.
Drew
He's got
Brees.
1.
There's a handful.
Breeze also broke multiple,
Yeah, multiple
records.
records.
I'm just saying, like,
Great numbers.
I don't see the problem with drafting in the top
you
10.
don't draft a quarterback with the number. You don't draft a quarterback that you're going to sit for 3 years.
He doesn't. He
I don't
doesn't
think he
have
sits
to
for
sit
3
for 3
years.
years.
I
I
think
mean,
this
here's
year's,
Jim Kelly didn't win a Super Bowl. He's in.
Exactly.
If the if the Falcons
Vinny.
if the Falcons do take a quarterback, who cares if he sits for a year?
They're not. There's no way they're taking a quarterback.
If
Why?
Justin Fields is
Dude,
there,
you can literally get 5 more years out of
Steve,
Matt Ryan.
no,
Matt
you
Ryan's not their
can't.
problem.
oh, yeah,
No,
here's the
you
thing.
can't.
It's a perfect scenario for Justin Fields.
Listen, I wasn't
Atlanta
prepared for the Matt
boy.
Ryan conversation.
Right, yeah. No,
Hang on,
you're-
I got to see what his numbers are.
I think it's a perfect spot for Atlanta to trade out of. That's where I think. If I'm Atlanta,
I don't
that's
think
where
they
I'm
trade
going.
out.
I don't
I'm
think.
trading now.
I think they're going to take Pitts probably eventually. Like Steve's probably right, but I think it's a wrong decision. I think you take a quarterback at 4, especially if Fields is there. I think
Oh, my
Atlanta's
bad.
not going to be in there.
My bad.
again.
I was completely wrong. This guy has only thrown for over 4,000 yards every year
How
for the
old
last
is
10.
Steve, how old is he?
Matt Ryan.
Yeah, 34.
I'm not gonna lie to you. You guys are way off of what you should be doing here.
Well, take the fork off your cheese curls and find out.
All right, so we're in a holding pattern
So
for
Matt
Atlanta.
Ryan is he's gonna turn 36. I didn't realize he's
so,
36.
so there you go.
He'll be 36 in May. So that's my bet. I
Happy
draft the
birthday,
quarterback.
Matt
then. I take it back. I take
I
everything
take it all
back.
back. Can we rewind? Keep can you stop
And
the tape and let us
and
rewind?
that's why you prepare before you get on the show.
Listen, first of all, I'm gonna go around the room. None of you knew. All right?
I know.
Don't look at me because I was wrong. None of you went,
I said-
he's 36. None of you did.
I
did.
said
None of you.
32,
In my head.
34.
Brody was the
So I
only one
wrong.
that questioned me, all right? He was the only one that was prepared.
That's because Brody
and prepped.
knows. This is Mel Kiper Jr.
He prepped.
Todd McShay, Brody
Junior,
McShay.
Junior.
The rest of you guys had no idea Dude was going to be 36. I agree. You
I thought he
drafted
was like
quarterback.
27. I thought he was.
I thought he was. I thought he was like
27.
early 30s. I would have thought like 32.
I thought he
33.
was getting towards his mid 30s.
Wow.
Yeah, around that.
I didn't
Right.
think 36. That's on me.
All right, so Atlanta's going to take a quarterback then. All right, so
So Justin,
first,
yeah,
first
so Mac
four
Jones
picks are
is cool, right?
quarterbacks. First four are quarterbacks. Then you get to Cincinnati, who you hear that does Burrow want his boy Chase that
Yes.
he played with?
Yes.
Well, or do you say to Burrow, hey, look, you just blew your knee out. We're going to get you that big offensive lineman.
I can't
that's
say
gonna
the guy's
protect
name
you.
right.
If you get
Panay
anyone,
Sewell.
Well-
yeah, if you get anyone besides him, then you're wrong.
Besides Sewell?
Yeah,
So
no
was the
other
pick.
right choice.
According to Howie Roseman, Chase wasn't going to be there at 6, so that's why they traded out. So on
Sure.
that logic, I'm going to go with Chase at 5. I think Burrow wants him. I think didn't they just sign an offensive tackle too in free agency, like a 2 or 3 year deal? Maybe could be a stopgap. And here's the other thing: Cincinnati's not going to be good next year anyway, so they can get an offensive tackle, and they're having a shit ton of
Yeah.
money under the cap.
Yeah, they also just got Thaddeus Moss though, who was one of Burrow's favorite receivers in LSU.
And he couldn't play for the
But,
Redskins
yeah,
all year.
it's-
Brody, you were just firing out the knob. Dude, I
I
gotta
like
give
it.
it
I
to
like
you,
it.
man.
Yeah, yeah. Hey,
Kid's
you're bringing
very
it.
On his
prepared.
iPad constantly.
Good for him.
He's
man.
keeping up on it.
That's good.
We'll see him on NFL Network one day or something.
Hopefully. Remember where it started.
Yeah.
When we're still doing this podcast, you come in.
Yeah, okay.
Geek will still be here. He'll still have nicer hair than me. All right, then. So we're gonna give Cincinnati Chase. Is that where we're going? See, I think you got to go
I-
offensive line.
I
Yeah,
would
you
say they
gotta.
go O-line.
You think?
You're going
No,
on.
their offense line stinks. They
Unless
got
they don't care about Burrow's leg. then-
yeah. If you want to
So-
protect your franchise guy, you got to go O-line.
Exactly.
The dude from Oregon is who you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would take.
Yeah.
I would think
if
they would take.
one. I'm just saying what I think Cincinnati.
I would think they would be smart enough to do that and realize that because T. Higgins isn't terrible.
No,
He's a
they still
good-
got
He's not
Tyler
that bad.
Boyd.
Tyler
They-
Boyd.
They have some young receivers.
I know AJ Green. Where's he at?
He's at Arizona.
He just signed with Arizona, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
John
here's the-
Ross is gone.
I mean, I think it's clear that Burrow wants him. So I think this will tell you how much pull Burrow has in the Bengals organization if they take Chase. I
No
think
way
if
they're
that
taking
tells
Chase.
you. Okay.
All
right.
In all honesty, I think that from an organizational standpoint, they know that they've made so many mistakes in the past. He's got a huge scar on his leg for a reason. They don't have an offensive line.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sewell's the guy.
So what
Yeah.
I'm saying to you, Steve, that's what I would do.
Yeah.
I could just see it going that direction. I also.
they
I
like
hope-
the receivers that they have outside of AJ
I
Green, though,
kind
too.
of, yeah, I kind of hope for the Eagles' sake because it's really going to piss me off. I kind of hope Pitts goes 4 and Chase goes 5 because if Chase is sitting there at 6 and the Eagles trade it out, I understand you got a future first next year, but like Hurts needs a number 1 weapon and Chase was ridiculous. So
That's where I said before we started the show, where I said I'm going to drop the grenade. I'm going to pull the pin and drop the grenade.
You pulling it now?
I'll pull it now. So I'm sure that you guys are aware of the situation and the conversation that's being had. If they draft a wide receiver at 12, I'm going to be pissed
why?
Why?
because you had the opportunity at 6 to get the best wide receiver that's on the board.
But
Yeah,
if
but is
Chase
he the
isn't
best?
there-
Jalen Waddle
Is
will
he
most
the
Chase
best?
likely
will
be there.
100% be there.
Yeah, I think.
Miami's
Chase drops
going to
6.
draft Chase.
I think so.
And what pisses me off even more is from everything that I've heard, the Eagles had the deal worked out with Miami 2 weeks before the
Because-
deal was
so-
announced.
But here's the thing, like
They tried to move up the draft.
If
So
you
this
get-
is why I'm pissed because it's a combination of a bunch of things that happened. So they tell Hurts. So first off, we trade Wentz because we convince everybody that Hurts is going to be our guy, and then we find out reports that they're looking to trade up because they want to draft a quarterback, and then we find out that Miami doesn't want the deal that we're going to offer, but Miami says we do have a deal we will work out with you. Once we make this deal with San Francisco, we will make a deal with you and you guys can move back if you guys want to take a pick next year.
but see
So they worked out that deal 2 weeks in advance
here's
and
the-
told us to keep it under
here's
our
the-
hat. So once the deal
if
was done, we can announce
if
it.
we get Devontae Smith or Jalen Waddle at 12, which I think Waddle could be really, really good.
Yeah.
And then you turn around next year, and for moving down 6 spots, you get a wide receiver and a future first-round pick. And I'm going to tell you right now, 2 is trash. Miami's not going to make the playoffs next year. That could be a top 15 pick for moving down 6 slots. I'm not like a big Howie fan, but if say that all materializes, right? Say Hurts is decent,
Let me ask you a question.
Waddle's good, and then you gain a top
Let me ask you
15
a
pick
question.
for moving 6 slots.
What if he's
That's
not?
good value.
What if he's not?
Who?
Waddle?
What if 2 is not trash and we wind up getting
Well, what's to it done though?
What is to where? Yeah, there's no Fitz magic to save him anymore.
100%?
I mean, the offense isn't great, granted, but
I mean,
Yeah,
he had
Tua
weapons
has-
last year,
he didn't really show much last year.
and he had weapons
So-
last year, and he still couldn't win.
If
Dude,
we're
Tua?
sitting here complaining about the fact that they traded out of 6 to get to 12 and we're not really happy with what we're probably going to get the draft.
I'm okay if we get a Smith or Waddle or
you
Surtain at 12.
you have 2 first round picks
Surtain
next
I'm
year,
okay
though.
with. If
Parsons
you draft
at
a wide
12
receiver
too.
at 12 when you had the opportunity to get the best wide receiver
Yeah,
at
but
6,
yeah, but you can't make that.
statistically, hold on. Statistically, before Chase got hurt, Waddle was just as good. Like
Waddle's a
people are
top
forgetting.
ranked
Waddle.
receiver.
Right, exactly.
People don't realize that.
Before
Waddle's,
Waddle got hurt,
Waddle is the number one receiver, but he's coming off that really
ankle
bad injury.
Right.
I mean, if you're going to complain about the production, that the lack of production that could come out of Waddle when you could have Chase, then why are you going to complain about if the Tua production's bad? That drops your
Now,
pick.
Steve, you agree we're not going to be that great of a football team this year, correct?
I'll agree with that.
Yeah.
listen,
I think everybody
systematically
agrees
they made a shit ton of mistakes. So yeah, I agree
so
with you.
If you're not going to be a good team, does Chase solve all your problems this year?
But so here's the thing.
Or does Waddle an additional third-round pick and a first-round
But-
pick next year?
but the
save
same
it?
My
things you're
point is,
saying for
don't
that-
draft a wide receiver. That's my
But you're
point.
saying go with the corner. See,
I don't think Surtain will be there at 12.
But my point is, if you had 6 and you had the opportunity to get the best wide receiver that's on the board,
But who says that he is the best wide receiver?
my eyes tell me that Chase is the best wide receiver.
Here's
on
the
board.
other thing I want to bring in. You're not worried about any of these guys that opted out and haven't played football for a year?
I think
I
that
actually think
weighs
that's
into the
better for them. But that aside, if you had the opportunity at 6 to take whatever wide receiver you wanted to, and now we're going to be at 12 and we're trying to determine what's best for our future. At this point, you need to load up. I think at 12,
Right. Loading up is multiple draft picks.
I'm
So
not-
are you
but I'm
trading
not-
out?
I'm not taking a wide receiver. That's
So
my
what are you
point.
going to do?
You
You're
won't
going to
take
trade out?
Waddle at 12.
No.
Why?
Because I won't.
So what are you doing?
So what are you taking?
Yeah, what do you?
My point is, if you're talking about
No,
stability,
no, 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 no,
because-
no.
No.
Answer it.
What,
What
you
are you
want
going to
Who
do?
are you taking at 12?
J.C. Horn?
Let me give you a board. J.C. Horn's on there. Devontae Smith's there.
Elijah Vera Hill, whatever his name is.
Elijah Vera
Yeah.
Hill's there. So Waddle's been taken. And Micah Parsons is there. And Rashawn Slater or another offensive tackle.
All right.
Who are you taking?
So because I'm under the spotlight here and I can't, here's my biggest problem. I don't know what our defense is going to look like. I don't know what defense our defensive coordinator is going to run. However,
Right.
if I have my choice out of all of them, I'm going to overlook all the bullshit in the kid's past and I'm taking Micah Parsons. Because if I get him at 12, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, well, I love
So
Micah.
here's-
You're not going to get an argument from me.
But here's where that goes
They're
completely out the
staters.
window. If it's true that Howie pulls as much power, much weight in that front office as he does, they don't put any value in linebackers. They're not going to draft.
But
I
is
would
he,
love to
is
see
he a
Parsons.
linebacker? Because they've been talking about the edge rush.
So you're going to put him. You're going to put another small guy on the outside. Like we already got.
I was just saying,
small.
Parsons
So that's
is
my
not
choice,
small.
dude. He's not. He's not.
However,
a defensive
if
lineman.
Micah Parsons
it's him
isn't
or
there-
Cody Pay, the dude from Michigan.
But if Parsons isn't there, like I hate the fact that we invested so much money into our defense and we don't
it's not great.
It's not
It's not
panning
great,
out.
yeah.
Yeah.
and we keep investing all of our draft equity into offense. So we spend money in free agency on defense, draft equity on offense, and Howie's terrible at evaluating talent.
Yes.
And if all of the reports that come out there are true and the power struggles that they have when it comes to evaluating talent, I don't want that guy picking anything for me for the next 5 years. So all the extra picks that you can get, they have no value to me because I know the guy that's picking them is a terrible evaluator of talent. And his entire MO is, I want to be the smartest guy in the room. I want to pick that guy that you go, wow, I'm surprised they picked him.
Hey, if we would have had those extra picks last year, guess what? DeAndre Hopkins would have been an Eagle. So I'm not saying that they're going to draft.
You think
three
they would have
players.
taken him?
I think they would have traded a first-round pick for him. I think that's another move that they could do.
I
They could
disagree
take- they
because that's
so
not their MO.
let's- if we're-
That's
if
not
we're-
what they do.
MO. They
If
traded
we're
for
piling-
Jason Peters and gave up 2 first-round picks.
It's just not what they do.
They did it.
Yeah, but they did it for like a tackle. A tackles
I
are
think they
tackles
would
are
do
tough to
it for
come by.
wide receiver.
When?
I'm saying
They've missed on every wide receiver they've drafted, going back to Deshaun Jackson.
No, Jeremy Maclin wasn't a miss.
It
Yeah.
wasn't that bad.
Bro, what?
Jack-
You're calling Jeremy Maclin a miss? That dude had this very similar numbers to Julian Edelman, who's so like a
Hall of
Hall of
Famer.
Famer.
He is.
I'm not going to do it. Hit him right now.
Dude, go look at his
Did you
numbers.
just compare Jeremy Maclin to Julian Edelman?
Look up
Who
his
played for the
numbers.
Patriots
I'm gonna
with
look-
Tom Brady? 'Cause we
continue
didn't
with the
have
show.
Tom Brady.
I'm going to look up
Right, so
numbers.
that makes it even worse. That he had almost the same numbers, and he played with a shit quarterback in Kansas City and a shit quarterback here.
Dude, Julian Edelman had like 6,000 career yards.
I'm gonna look up the numbers.
That's not a lot.
We're gonna let the numbers.
That's not.
speak for
That's my
themselves.
point. That's not good.
Numbers never lie, right?
He's
Yeah,
156th.
bad.
That's
And-
not. It's not good at all.
And yet he's a
He's-
Hall of Famer apparently.
He's not a
He's
Hall.
not a Hall of Famer.
We talked
I know,
about this
he's
last
not.
episode.
Yeah.
He's got 6,800 yards. It puts him on 156. He's got 620 receptions. That puts him at 75. He's got 36 touchdowns. Not
Is
even
this
in the top
Edelman?
250.
36.
It's Edelman, right?
That's Edelman.
not
36
Macklin.
total touchdowns
But
in
Yeah.
his
Macklin,
career.
yeah,
36.
That's ridiculous.
That's
Terrible.
terrible.
yeah.
But he's
not
on par with Macklin.
Look,
who was
listen.
not
Are
a
you
miss.
listen?
Look
You
at
gonna
Macklin's
listen?
numbers.
Listen.
Macklin's numbers are close.
All right.
They are.
His
Even
Yeah.
if they're
I-
close, he
his-
didn't win
his
two
total
Super
career
Bowls.
yards-
hurt too.
total
Both
He was
career
not a
yards.
Super Bowl MVP.
6,835 yards. Total touchdowns 49 above Edelman and Edelman was 6,200.
Yeah.
How many years did he play?
Okay, he's six.
How many years did he play?
He
6,835.
didn't play that many years.
How
That's
many
the
years did
thing.
he play?
He
Not many.
played 8 years.
8 years.
Edelman played what? 13.
Yes. Yeah.
13.
Two of them were as a special
First,
team.
I'm not even comparing Edelman to Macklin. Just give me Macklin's numbers and we'll deal with that.
I just did, and they're better.
They're better. And he
better.
played less, dude. And he tore his ACL
Yeah,
twice.
I don't think that Edelman's a Hall of Famer, so I don't know what your argument is there. But
You're
I'm
saying
looking
that
at-
the Eagles have missed on receivers when they haven't.
when was it? When did Macklin last play for the Eagles? 2000.
So wait, are you in?
14.
Are you in the? Are you in? The,
2014. That's 7
Wait,
years
hold
ago.
on.
I'm not saying that they've hit on every receiver, but they also haven't.
I said they
missed.
missed on every
So let me
receiver
ask you
going
this.
back
Are
to
you-
Deshaun, and you hit me with Macklin.
Are you already saying
They
that
never
Jalen
missed with him.
Rager?
I'm saying they suck at evaluating.
So,
They-
are,
they
you, are you
do,
saying
but-
Jalen Rager's a bust already?
I'm saying that I wouldn't have drafted Jalen Rager.
And nobody would have.
I
But now
would've,
Go ahead.
We'll see.
What?
This year,
Yeah.
maybe he's. You know, I'm not saying he's.
I'm not high on him. I'll give him the chance, but
But do you think he's
he
a bust?
has
Not
shown
yet.
sparks when he
But-
has played, but the problem he was injured for
Right.
what, half the year?
Yeah, he was. Hurt.
and Wentz
So-
stunk last year. So
Yeah.
Did he?
That's
Yes.
Yeah, he
being
did.
nice. Wentz was terrible.
Wentz was statistically the worst quarterback in the
Wentz
league.
couldn't even.
Six-
Did
16
any other
interceptions
quarterback
it was?
that you're statistically measuring up against have a worse
Who would
scenario?
you,
than
Actually,
Wentz?
it-
last year, who would you have rather had? Jameis Winston or Carson Wentz?
Probably Carson.
So
Wentz.
let me ask you. Let me ask you a question.
Winston threw up the same exact numbers, actually better numbers. The year he was in Tampa is last year in Tampa than Wentz did last
And
year.
guess what? Carson Wentz didn't even have a better QB rating than Ben DiNucci when they played
That's
head
true.
to head.
Yeah, that's true.
Ben
listen,
DiNucci. Come on, dude.
I don't
Look
hate.
at who
I don't.
Carson beat.
I don't hate Wentz. I don't
Look
want
at
to.
the wins.
I don't want to like get into the past here, but I don't hate Wentz. But he was terrible last year.
do you
He's
think it's
awful.
fair to judge Wentz on what he had?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
do. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I'll
made
give you the O line
terrible
injuries and the
throws.
inconsistency with the O line, but the weapons were there almost every week.
So my man literally in one game went out there and he had 2 offensive linemen that were starters, and that was it.
I just said I'll give you the O line. I'll give
But
you
I'm
that.
saying that was it.
How
Like
about
his
the-
tight end was out for how many games?
His whole offensive line was there the whole in week 1, and he choked away a 17-0 lead
So it was
because
1
he
week.
couldn't hit his wide receivers.
1 week.
Who else did he beat?
Early on in the process, we're dealing with COVID.
He beat.
Nobody had any camp.
Look at the wins that he had against the Niners.
I'm not
Without
disagreeing, and I'm
quarterback.
not saying that he had a stellar freaking year, but I'm saying
He's
that
garbage.
nobody else had the challenges that he did, and we just discounted my man.
I don't think he's liked in that locker room. I think that was a big issue. I don't think people liked
You-
him.
You know what?
I think he's a prima donna.
I
and
will say
think that-
100% that is all preposterous, and it's thrown out there by writers that are trying to find whatever they can.
Actually, if you look at it, the stories that came out a year before that we all thought was crap, looks like all that stuff was true.
So what I'm
I-
going to do
I-
is I'm going to take the fact that at the end of the season, I saw our Hall of Fame center, Kelsey, with our Hall of Fame tight end sitting there in Zach Ertz, sitting there with Carson
Zach Ertz
Wentz.
is a Hall of Famer.
Zach Ertz is definitely a Hall of Famer.
That's
I don't
He's
know.
got.
He's in-
I
He
love
is-
the guy.
he
I
is-
love the guy,
He
but
is in the Hall of Fame right now for most receptions. So technically,
All right.
he is in the Hall of Fame.
That's fine. What I'm saying is, I'm looking at it from the evaluation of players. Like, first off, Joe Santaligliago or whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
guy's name is.
Santa Luquita.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm not evaluating that guy's opinion, and I'm also not going to go off the Josina Anderson conversation because it's very clear that Alshon Jeffrey
It's
did
Alshon.
not like him.
Yes.
yeah,
But based off of the fact that if I look at the guy's numbers and his performance, he was a good quarterback for us.
but if you look every year, the numbers went down,
that's fine.
and his
So
play,
did the talent level.
his play went down.
So did the talent level. How many games did we start off in the season without our starting running back?
Dude, the Eagles, they had Miles
Did Miles start the season?
this year.
No.
He didn't start
How
against
many
Washington.
games?
No.
How many
Was he out
games
the
did his
first
number one and number two
4?
wide receivers miss? How many games did his starting tight end miss? How many games did his backup tight end miss? How many games did 3 of the 5 offensive linemen
I
miss?
said I'll give you the
Wait a minute.
offensive
How
line.
You're
many-
not.
how many-
Listen, what I'm saying is his entire offense was off
Dude.
kilter the entire year,
But
How-
he still
how
and
many
had
they
years-
did nothing.
he
How
to
still
help
many-
had
him.
like Goddard there.
Goddard missed 2 games, 4 games,
Yeah,
somewhere in that
Steve,
range.
Steve,
2
here's the
games isn't a
problem. He
lot.
can't stay healthy, and he hasn't been able to stay healthy
Who
since
hasn't?
college.
You just went in a
Wentz.
totally different
Wentz.
direction. He was healthy for the majority of the season.
This year?
Yes,
Yeah, he was, and then he got benched because he
because he
stunk.
got benched because the fan base called for it.
But that
The
same
fan base called to bench a
come
guy
on,
who's doing
man.
4,000 yards the
That's-
season before.
that same team.
I don't know. You could go to the fan
You
base.
can't go
There's
fan
no
base.
fan
So
base.
what do you bench him for?
There's no fan base at the game.
Because you have no
Because he was
balls.
sucked.
What's
You
that?
want a
You
quarterback?
have no balls.
Who doesn't?
The
Wentz.
coach.
I agree with that.
You have no balls. The front
100%.
office, and I'm not saying he was playing great. I was a Wentz guy.
Mhm.
I'm
Are you
over,
still
I'm
Wentz
over
guy?
this whole argument. He's gone now.
Right.
Yeah, I
not,
agree.
Not to use the
It's-
cliche. I don't root for the name on the jersey. I root
Right.
for the team. Blah blah. All that bullshit. But look, I'm still not sold on Hurts. Don't take me down that path. I'm not sold on Hurts, but he's our quarterback now. So
But look at
But
the,
Here's
I
my
think-
biggest issue with the whole Carson thing. There's a fall guy that we needed a fall guy. Howie just systematically fall guide everybody on the team.
yes, that's what he does good.
He's
does that well.
phenomenal
yeah,
at
but
that.
when the team's
He fall
doing
guide
good
the
and the team's
quarterback,
doing
and when
bad,
the
it's
fan
always
base
the
didn't
quarterback.
buy it, he got rid of the coach.
Let me ask you this: do you think he's going to be good in Indy?
Who?
Wentz.
I'll
think he
bet you
will.
Carson
He
Wentz wins
has
the Super
the
Bowl in Indy.
weapons.
I'll
Wins
take
a
that.
Super
I'll take
Bowl?
that.
I
bet
can
I
see
will take
that.
that
right
right
now.
now.
I agree with that. I could see that.
Hang on. You guys do realize how good Indy was last year
Yeah.
without
Yeah,
Carson
yeah.
Wentz.
But
He has
I'll
it
still
in
take that
line.
bet.
I'll take that.
They have
too.
to go play
I think
Kansas
that-
City. They got to run through. Who else is good?
Their
The
division's
Titans,
going to be better.
the Colts, or not the Colts, the Titans, the Bills. They got to beat all
The
those
Indy
teams.
Jaguars are going to turn it around with Urban Meyer. I hate Urban Meyer, but everywhere he goes, he turns it around.
I don't know about
Listen,
that.
Yo, I'm
listen,
telling
I
you.
think
I
The
don't
Colts,
know. I'm
the
telling
Colts had
you.
an opportunity last year to challenge for the AFC Championship game with 39.
The problem is he won't be able to stay healthy. He won't stay healthy. I
I bet
guarantee
he
you.
does.
I guarantee you. Within
I-
2 years,
He has
Wentz
a new
gets hurt.
line.
You know what? I'm going to guess that he's probably going to stay healthy, considering the fact that our offensive line has been garbage for 5 straight years.
The same offensive line that they were able to
They're
win a
always
Super
hurt.
Bowl with,
They're always hurt. He's the most sacked quarterback behind
because
Russell
he
Wilson
can't, because he holds on to the ball.
because his offensive line doesn't protect.
So throw the ball away.
Wait,
Yeah,
wait.
he doesn't
Hold on.
throw it away.
Let me chime in.
The
Let
voice
me
from
chime in.
above. The voice
Yeah.
from above. That's
Hold on.
Rob Rennie from the Sarcast.
Yes, sir. I'm here watching.
Oh, you know
Yeah.
what? And go ahead. We can't hear you.
I agree with Steve. Like Carson Wentz is going to do really well. What's up with this mic, dude? Come on.
You're the guy.
Carson Wentz is going to do well in Indianapolis.
I agree.
He wouldn't have forced a trade there if he didn't want to.
Do you think he's going to win a Super Bowl?
It's very possible he wins the Super Bowl with that team. That team
I'm-
is set up
Who's
to
he
win.
throwing to? Who's he throwing to?
I'm on this side.
Who's
I'm
he
on this
throwing
side
to?
for the
I'm
will
not
do
100
well. I'm not on this side for the Super Bowl.
Who's
yet.
he
Hell
throwing
no.
to?
Is it
I
just
don't
because
I don't know his
of-
roster. Like I don't know who's on his roster.
Who the running
They
backs
need
are?
receivers.
Jonathan Taylor, and they got rid of Marlon Mack's a free agent,
Yeah,
right?
no,
And
Marlon-
who's
He's
the
signed.
dude? Hines.
Yeah, Naeem
Hines?
Hines. Yeah.
Naeem-
Naeem
All right,
Hines.
but who's he throwing to?
Michael
Hines,
Pittman?
Taylor, Pittman.
The running backs or Pittman?
Dude,
okay.
their wide receiver core is young. I don't remember all their
T.Y. Hilton
receivers.
didn't do crap last year.
And
And then-
Sorry.
dude,
You censored that, compared to some of the stuff we
dude,
heard
Philip
earlier.
Rivers. Hold on. Philip Rivers was the quarterback on that team and threw what 30 touchdowns and four
Yeah.
interceptions or
Philip
something.
Rivers also a Hall of Famer.
Bro, let me ask you a question. With everything
Look
that
at
you
those
just
With
said,
those numbers, yeah.
you know that their team finished 11-5.
Because their defense is really
Dude,
good.
Philip Rivers
They have
had
a great. They have the best
3,500
offensive,
yards.
one of the best offensive lines in the league.
Okay, and
I
when-
just
All
think,
Carson Wentz needs is an offensive
I just think
line.
he's broken. Honestly,
He's not
I just
broken.
think he's broken.
Yes,
I think
he
my
is.
man's going to go there and have.
He's been
a
broken
complete
since that
revival.
Javion Clowney hit.
He's going to go there
Broken.
and have an absolutely complete.
I
revival.
think he'll do well, but I don't think they might make the playoffs.
Wait a
They
minute.
are
What? Mike? Mike?
Colts are Super Bowl contenders with
Wait,
Wentz.
hold on, hold
I
on.
can argue
Hey,
that.
time out. You said they might make the
They're Super
playoffs?
Bowl contender?
Yeah.
Their division's really
Bro,
good
they're
They already
they're
were last year.
90% locked to make the playoffs.
over the Titans, who just went to
You
Back-to-back
forget
playoff
2 wild
runs?
card teams. Who cares about the Titans?
That Bills can get a
You
wild
see
card.
what
The Chiefs.
why would the Bills get a
Titans
wild
are,
card when they're going to
the
win the
Chargers?
division?
I'm going to tell you right now,
Gonna be better.
I put money on the Colts winning that division.
I could see that
All right,
too.
yeah, I could see that, but I'm just saying.
But you're
that
telling me
But you just
Tennessee,
told me they're not gonna
Tennessee,
make the
Tennessee.
playoffs.
they might not make
I
playoffs.
don't think.
Why won't they
I
make the
think they make it
playoffs?
as a wild
Titans.
card, but I
Dude,
don't
you're telling me
think
they're
are
not
nuts.
one of the best 8.
Here's the problem.
One of
You're
the top
totally
8 teams
discounting
in
him and
the
acting
AFC?
like he's a garbage quarterback, and he's not.
I don't think he's
I don't think he's garbage, but I think
he's not
damn
what we
good.
what everyone thinks.
He's
he
a
is.
good quarterback going to a team that finished 11-5.
Yeah.
He's a good quarterback going to a team. All he did was make them better. Think about that.
They got
He
a lot of
broke
money to
this
pay
locker
once
room.
it's over
Nobody-
here.
Huh?
He wasn't.
I don't give a
like-
shit how much money they have to
Listen,
pay him.
I'm
It's not
going to
my
say,
fault.
hold
in
on,
this
time out.
locker
And I'm
room.
just going to say this about the
I'm not going to
Eagles.
lie to you. The Eagles are going to regret making that decision.
I think so too, and I think the Eagles are the
I
ones
don't
who
know.
enforce.
So first off,
the
Jalen
Eagles
Hurts is
force
never
that.
going to have anywhere near the career that Carson Wentz has.
What career did Carson Wentz have here, though?
So if
Yeah,
I'm going to go back
one
17.
good year.
Yeah,
One
what-
good year.
Hold on.
2017.
Yeah, that's
when
one
he got
year.
when he got hurt,
Yeah.
what was
In
his record?
2019, we're
What were they?
One at a
12 and
time,
3?
man. One at a
12 and 2.
No, what was his record when they
12
got
and
hurt?
2.
No, they were
Or 11 and 2.
they were weren't they 13
No,
and 1?
That was
He
their,
got hurt in week
They
14.
were
Nah.
12-2.
So
They
he
were
was
12
12 and 1 when he got hurt.
12-2.
12
No,
and 2.
wasn't it 11
The
and
third
2?
loss
So-
was the last week of the season.
Here's what we're going to look
he
at.
got
When
hurt
it's all
in
said and
week
done,
14. and
We're
they
going to
still
compare
won the
Carson
game.
Wentz's
Yeah.
Carson Wentz's career to Jalen
Who
Hurts,
cares
and I
about that?
guarantee that Jalen Hurts has a worse career than Carson
But
Wentz.
Jalen Hurts might not even be the franchise
Wait,
guy here.
how
That's
about
the
this?
point.
The
I know,
Eagles
that's a
won't even
problem.
You
announce
just
Jalen
traded
Hurts as
away
their
the guy that
quarterback.
was your
He didn't
franchise
want to
guy.
be here. So
They
move
had
on
an
from him.
opportunity. Oh, wait, the
I
Eagles had
wouldn't
an
want to be here
opportunity.
either with the way the fan base treated him.
Wait,
What are
time
you
out.
talking
Yo,
about? Why
wait.
is the fan base's problem?
the Eagles had an opportunity yesterday
Sorry, I
to
know
name
it's a kid show,
Jalen
but
Hurts their
freaking nut
starting
up, dude.
quarterback,
So-
and they refused.
But here's the thing: Sirianni
You make
made
decisions.
Sirianni made a blanket statement. He said there's competition at every position,
Joe,
which I
let me
agree
ask you a
with.
question. Ready?
Which I agree with.
So you want to see Jalen Hurts compete with Joe Flacco for the starting quarterback position
No,
of the
but
Because Joe
Philadelphia Eagles?
Flacco's elite.
What?
I can't.
I'm kidding.
Look,
I just
That's-
think he said that. I don't think
It's
I mean,
all
Hurts will be the
it's-
quarterback.
But why
all
wouldn't
lip
you
service.
announce it?
It's
Why
all
wouldn't
lip
you
service.
put? Listen.
Inside voices.
Hold on. Listen to this. Ready? If you're the Philadelphia Eagles, don't you want to hype Jalen Hurts up as much as you
Yeah.
can?
No,
They-
you're
they
you
were-
coach.
No, you want to hype Jalen
Nah.
Hurts up
What,
as
though?
much as
Listen,
you
you
can.
want to hook your wagon to
What?
somebody.
Not you,
Well,
you
last
didn't
time they
draft
looked into
you
the
didn't
Wentz
draft
wagon,
this
that
guy.
fell off.
But
That's the
but if
benefit that
Jalen
Sirianni
Hurts
had.
goes-
That's in a
saying.
bad spot with him.
If Jalen Hurts goes and watches that press conference yesterday, he's like rock paper scissors. Oh, and I'm not the starting quarterback.
Yes.
Fuck this team.
Yes.
No.
No,
You're going way off base, Rob. I'm sorry.
Why?
You're way off base. Way off
Right.
base. Look, brand new coach. He didn't draft Hurts. He doesn't have to
the
give
right
any
coach?
allegiance. I don't know if he's the right coach.
Look,
That's
he
not
can-
his guy.
yeah,
Joe
Do we have
Flacco.
the right offensive coordinator?
Joe Flacco is
Do we have the right offensive coordinator?
I don't know.
Do we have the right
I
defensive
don't
coordinator?
know.
These
I don't know
questions,
any
none
of
of
Do
these.
we have the right scouts?
No.
You can't ask these
We don't
questions.
have the right
to the
GM. No, we
But-
do not have the right GM.
But
We're in
Jim,
trouble.
Yes.
here's a question, Jim. Like I think he was just saying that
Closer
there's gonna be competition at every position.
That's what you
it.
have to say.
And
That's
that's
what
what
I'm
a
saying.
coach says.
Listen,
Yeah.
the question wasn't.
I don't
You know
have a
what?
problem
I'm not
with
going to
that.
lie to you. I don't want to be on a panel with a guy that I'm not sure. Let's do it right now. I
The
need to know where
question-
your competitor is.
Yo, but
I
the
need to know
question-
if you're good at rock, paper, scissors because I can't
Are you,
develop.
wait, are you,
Wasn't the question asked to him, is Jalen Hurts the starting quarterback?
yeah,
I don't know.
Okay, and he went, oh, there's competition at every position.
I don't think there's
You
anything
have
wrong
to
with
say
that.
That's a horrible answer.
No.
If you want to,
So
like,
here's my take about Sirianni. People in Philadelphia are worried about this guy like as a public
Bro,
speaker and
figure
how he
out the
talks.
mic.
Yeah, you
Rob,
like
seriously.
are you like rubbing that against your crack?
I don't.
I could give two shits if Sirianni is a good public speaker. If the guy knows X's and O's, who cares?
But does he?
That's what we don't know.
All
We
these
don't
questions
know.
that you're asking, we
Or-
don't know.
right.
We'll find
So-
out during the
and
season.
nobody knows how
But so let me ask you a
Yeah.
question. The fact that you don't know, do you think that you should be so cocky about what we're going to be or
I'm
where we're going to
not.
be
I've
at?
already
None of
came
us.
out
He
and
said
said
they're
that we're
They're
going to
going
be
to be the
bad.
worst team in the
Correct.
division.
So when I say to you that Carson Wentz's career is going to be better than Jalen Hurts,
So
you
why
can't
waste them
confidently go there.
here? Why waste them here?
Dude, we're a playoff team, Lynn.
With
We're
Wentz?
Here,
We're
wait,
playoff team.
why
With this
waste to
roster?
Wentz?
No,
We're
you're
a playoff
not.
team.
No, you're not.
Why waste
No.
Wentz here?
With this roster, yeah.
We're a playoff team with
30.
Wentz.
Hold on,
No,
wait.
no.
I got the answer for
They're-
that.
With Wentz in
I
a
have the answer for
That
that.
was screwed up.
$38 million.
With Wentz and a new coach,
But
we're
you
a
don't
playoff
have
team.
money to spend on the rest of that roster.
But you threw 38.
You have a top 10 running
flushed
back.
$38 million down the
No, you-
toilet.
When-
You have a top 10. You have a top 7 tight end.
So here's another thing. None of you
You
guys
think Hurts
none
stays?
of you guys don't think that Wentz handled the whole situation of drafting Jalen Hurts
Wait,
wrong.
why is it
He's
all Wentz?
mentally soft.
Who
Why-
said
why
that
was
Wentz
it-
was mentally soft?
Mentally soft. Why did they do it?
Mentally salty. You requested a trade out of the
Dude,
franchise.
what
that
did hold on?
built
What did
around
Aaron,
Bro, when you requested
No,
trade out of
no,
this team,
no.
Hold on,
Are you
hold
about
on,
to say
Tyler,
what did
ready?
Aaron
Listen,
Rodgers do?
Let me ask you.
right? He went and balled out.
No, actually, he complained first.
Wentz let it
He
get to his
complained
head.
first. Also, what does
Aaron
what
Rodgers
does
also
Aaron
has the
Rodgers
advantage
have
of playing
that
behind
Carson
Brett
Wentz
Favre.
doesn't have?
They both
Wait,
have
Don't
a
tell
ring.
me
All right,
Carson
they
Wentz
both have
doesn't
a
have
ring.
weapons. Come on.
He
got a
doesn't have weapons.
Okay.
They
Dude,
both
he's got a
have
ring.
When you could throw the ball to friggin' what's his name? Adams.
Adams?
Yeah, Devontae Adams. Like when you could just throw the ball up and the dude literally catches everything you throw at him.
Aaron Rodgers.
How do you
is
think
overrated.
Carson Wentz would
Let's
look
get
if he had
Let's get
that?
Aaron Rodgers
There
out of
it
this.
is.
Get Aaron Rodgers out of this conversation.
Aside from
But
that,
that's serious.
Aaron Rodgers after
And
they
he
drafted
sucked on Jeopardy.
after
I
they
thought he was
drafted Bryce Love. After they drafted him,
Bryce
Aaron Rodgers,
Love. Jordan Love.
George Love, sorry.
Jordan, not George Love. Try it again.
Oh my bad.
They have the benefit of he's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. He's also won MVP.
Listen, my thing is
He's won
in
one
life.
MVP.
So here's my whole take on Wentz. And we're all working. We're not all professional athletes, but in life,
Speak for yourself.
okay, you might be. In life,
Never
every,
seen me at Cornell.
every job, you're always competing. There's always somebody that's
No.
ready to take your job. No, it is. It's the truth.
No.
Why is he privileged, right? To basically be like, I'm the quarterback, but yet I can suck, but I should still be the quarterback. And just because they drafted Jalen Hurts, he got butt hurt. And
Wait,
it
when did
turned
Carson
the
Wentz
locker room.
ever
Wentz
say
didn't
any of
suck.
that?
So
Carson
He
and
did-
everybody
when did he
said-
ever
hang on
say
one second.
that?
Hang on
Stop for a
one
second. Stop for a second. Stop for a second.
Why?
Jim,
Because
Stop for a
everyone assumed that's what he said. He
No.
never said it.
Because he said it.
by
He
not
did-
saying
by not-
anything.
He never came out at the end of the
Yes.
season.
Yeah, he didn't say
He never
anything.
even said goodbye and thanks
Yeah.
to Doug.
I
Like,
wouldn't.
dude, why?
Look, when you got it, and this is.
All right, so I have a question. I have a question.
Wait. I'm going to steal some of Flan's thunder
I-
here.
okay,
Flan says, when you got to walk into a stadium every day,
Who cares?
and the guy that took your job has a statue out there, that's not going to burn you a little bit.
100%.
They draft.
Why?
They draft
He
your.
was the only quarterback
Dude,
in Eagles history.
hold on.
Why
First
should
off,
there not be a
Everyone,
statue?
wait,
Why
time out,
should there not
time
be a
out, time
statue?
out, time out about the statue thing.
There's the only
Everyone makes
quarterback in the whole history of that franchise.
So I
Hold on.
just straight up.
Everyone
I
makes
have
it.
a, hold on. I have a question.
Wait, about the statue.
You think that Carson Wentz the entire time he's been here has been treated good?
Yeah, I mean, look at what he's got paid.
No, I don't care about that. You think he's been treated good?
Yeah,
well, why? Well, they built the
they tried
franchise
to
around
draft.
him.
How has he?
First of
Other
all,
than last season, are you saying the fan base?
is it our fault?
I'm
that-
just saying in general. The
He's a
entire
quarterback of the
scenario of the
Philadelphia
guy's
Eagles. Don't
quarterback.
give me that. We need to treat him
So
like
my
he's
man,
some-
my man
Right.
carries
Like,
us
he's
to
pressure.
a
He's not
phenomenal
Jesus.
situation.
He's not Jesus,
He gets
even though he
hurt.
thinks he is.
Nick Foles comes in, we win the Super Bowl. Granted, Nick Foles deserves all the credit for everything that he did.
And then wait, what happened the year after? Wentz got hurt again, and Nick Foles won us more playoff games because Wentz can't stay healthy.
But then Wentz was healthy the year after that.
And what
Oh,
happened?
and then he got hurt again.
And he got fucking cheap shot in the playoffs, and the Eagles didn't even stick up for him.
And Josh McCown
Wait.
almost won him the
Wait.
game.
They didn't even
wait.
stick up for him
So,
in that game. After that game,
Rob,
the Eagles
here's my
didn't stick
point.
up for him, and then
Your
they went and
quarterback went
drafted
out.
Jalen
Your
Hurts.
quarterback went out and had a 63.9% completion percentage. Threw for 4,000 yards, 27 touchdowns, and you drafted a quarterback in the second
right
round.
because he can't stay healthy.
wait.
No.
Rob
Dude,
said
tell me
something.
that all
cheap
year.
shot in the
Rob's
playoff game.
Rob said something I want to ping on.
That
The draft
year,
is next
that
Thursday.
year, hold on. That year that he threw 4,000 yards, he played 16 games.
He didn't have a single.
He went 9-7 in that
Hold on,
season.
hold on, Jim. Say what you gotta say.
The draft is next Thursday. You guys ever see the movie Draft Day?
Yes.
Rob just said
He's
nobody
the guy.
took care of Wentz after he got hit. Nobody showed up to Callahan's birthday.
Wait,
What's that say?
but wait a minute.
He's been
Hold on.
saying there's only two guys that went out on the field with him at the end of the season. Kelsey.
There's
And
been
Hurts.
multiple guys that
Yeah.
came out on
And what are you going to
and
say?
said,
What are you going to say while he stole a part of the team? Are you going to blast him
Exactly.
while he stole a part of the team?
Dude,
But
nobody's
wait,
blasted him
here's
since
here's
the-
what I'm saying. Like when he got hurt in that playoff game, okay, That was a cheap shot.
I
The
agree
league
with that.
should have fined Clowney. They should have, or Clowney, right?
Right, yeah.
They should have. They should have fined him. They should have suspended him. The Eagles should have been in friggin' like. Doug Peterson should have been pissed off. Howie Roseman, the Eagles organization, should have complained up
They
and
did.
down.
They sent the
They
video
didn't
to
do
the
shit,
refs. They
dude.
sent
Just
it to the league.
wait, no, just
Yes,
because
they did.
they should have announced it in press
They sent the
conferences.
footage
They
to the
should have.
league.
If I'm the guy who is running this organization, you have to show Carson Wentz that you support him, that he got cheap shot in that game.
They
did.
shot
It wasn't no.
footage to
They
the
didn't.
league.
Just because you send a film to
What
the
else do
league,
you want them to do?
I could send
Protest?
I could send your film to ESPN. It doesn't mean anything's going to happen to it.
It's still. What do
No.
you want them to do? What more? do
I
you
want
them to
Doug
do?
Peterson to say in the media it was bullshit what just happened in that game to Carson Wentz. Not I got to check the film and never
That's not
speak
who
about
Doug
it again.
is. You know that.
I don't care. If you want to support Carson Wentz and Carson Wentz to be your quarterback, that's what you need to do. That's what the Eagles organization needed to.
This went totally
I gotta-
sideways.
wait.
Totally sideways.
So
Wait,
Jalen
I-
Waddle
I
at
gotta
12.
say something.
Kevon, you ready for that commercial? I think we need to take a
Wait,
Hit the
wait.
commercial.
we're gonna get a commercial break and come back and get back to the draft because that's what we're here for. But the kids got the last say. What do you got?
I 100% agree with you what you're saying about 2019 wins.
Yes.
Steve, yeah.
Mr. Library.
He threw for
Love me,
4,000
Steve.
yards and didn't have a single receiver over 500 yards. He carried the Eagles last year.
Correct.
If Wentz got hurt again that year,
But there was no. My whole
It's over.
point is that after that season, how good he played, there was no reason to draft a quarterback in the second round to make the guy think that his job was in jeopardy.
It was a cheap
If
way of
they
a
took-
backup. That's all they saw.
And
But
I
there
think
was
they
no-
were trying
there
to
was-
use
listen,
him as a way
The
to-
entire organization has come out and said that Howie was the only one
let
who
me
thought
ask
that
you
that was the good
something.
choice.
Let me ask
If
you
they
something.
took
If
a-
you never
being
draft
like-
Hurts,
Hold on.
nobody ever comes in to be that
So
backup.
would you rather have a backup at 4 years at $4 total million, or continue to have to pay a quarterback like $8 or $9 million each year and burn your cap? They
There's-
used him as a backup. They did not think he was a franchise guy.
Who?
Hurts.
You don't draft the guy in the second round if you don't think that he's
So,
eventually
let me
going to
ask
be
you a
your
question.
quarterback.
Let me ask you a question. Do the Eagles win a Super Bowl if they didn't have a competent backup? Okay.
So then why would you not take?
So
the-
why would you not take
Honestly,
Hurts?
in all honesty, I don't know.
I would have taken him in the second
Why?
round. It's
if
still
they
too
take
high.
a QB
So
and
the only thing that you have on your side right now for your argument is the power of hindsight. That's it.
No, I don't.
You
I
literally do. Every argument that you've made the entire time has been about what they have done. So everything that we do is based off of potential.
5 out
If
of
you're gonna
7
say
years,
that I'm going to
Carson
draft-
Wentz has not been able to stay healthy.
If you're going to say that I'm going to draft a quarterback
Since
in the second
college.
round, you're sending a message to the quarterback that you have. It doesn't matter which team you are. If you're Joe Montana and you draft a quarterback in the second round, you're letting him know that this is the guy
You're
we're
on borrowed
taking.
time.
In 2017, Nick Foles made $4 million, which is exactly backup quarterback money.
Jalen Hurts makes $4 million over 4 years.
Yeah, but
That's
rookie
full-
money.
That's
That's rookie
That's-
money.
that's
Yeah,
four,
that's
that's
It's
true.
the same
That's
thing as what he's
rookie
trying to say.
you're saving.
He's trying to say
dollars over.
What he's
the span of
saying is
4
they were
years.
able to sign a free agent at $4 million a year to do the same thing without sending that message to your quarterback that this guy is your replacement.
Nobody. I don't think that the Eagles were drafting him to beat our
Carson Wentz thought he was his
that
replacement
was-
immediately when they drafted him.
That's Carson Wentz being mentally sound.
Any quarterback in the league is going to think if you draft a quarterback that early in the second round, that's my replacement.
So then
It doesn't matter if
so-
you're a Hall of Famer or not.
Okay,
So then why
if
did
that's
he
the
conclude-
case-
If you drafted a quarterback from New England early in the second round, Tom Brady's going to think that guy was his replacement.
So Brett Favre
Aaron
thought that with
Rodgers thought
Rodgers?
that.
Yes, he
Same thing.
told him, I'm not going to work
Aaron
with him.
Rodgers told the same thing.
He said, I am not going to
Did-
teach that guy how to play quarterback because I'm not
When
training
did-
my
When
replacement.
did New England draft Garoppolo? What round was
Like
he?
he
Not
was
in
like
the
a
second.
third
So it
round,
was the
fourth
second-
round.
Dude,
He
Brett
might-
Favre legit came out and said,
I
I
remember
am
that,
not
yeah.
going to teach this guy how to be a professional quarterback because I'm not teaching my
I mean,
replacement.
Alex Smith
Careful
was the
about
top of
game.
his game when they
Remember
drafted
yelling
Mahomes.
at
Alex
Mike.
Smith wasn't the best quarterback in that draft.
But he was when
Alex Smith knew he was not the best quarterback in the draft. He knew San Francisco
I'm
made a
talking
mistake.
about when Kansas City drafted.
I
Alex
gotta
Smith
agree
was
with
damn
Steve
good.
here.
Thanks,
Oh
buddy.
man.
That's fine.
How about that commercial, huh?
Yeah.
Do it. Go to commercial.
Go to commercial.
I'm not needy. I'm just passionate.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break. Get some of the hot air out of this room. And we will be right back. Thanks for hanging out with us on the Say the Move First
NFL
podcast.
That air is
Insider
just for
calling
me.
out Carson Wentz feels irresponsible.
InsurePhilly.com. We comparison shop all the time. Can I get this cheaper on Amazon? What will the store brand save me? Should I get a second estimate on this remodel? So why not do that for your insurance needs? Better yet, why not have someone comparison shop for you? At insurephilly.com, you can get up to 10 quotes in about 10 minutes with top insurance carriers like Progressive, Travelers, Nationwide, Selective, Liberty Mutual, Encompass, Kemper, and Berkshire Hathaway. Owner agent Matt Maloney provides top national carriers with top local service. Just go to insurephilly.com to get your quote online or call Matt at 215-300-9590. For all your insurance needs, auto, home, life, business, and Medicare insurance plans, make sure to go to insurephilly.com today or call 215-300-9590. Matt Maloney gives you the national carriers you recognize from a local company you can trust. InsurePhilly.com.
In a Midwest kid.
That's fair.
That's right. You guys on?
When I need to ask both you guys questions.
We're back from the commercial.
God, dude, I love it.
Back
I
from the
love that
commercial.
Brody's so on my team.
Bringing the heat.
Took a deep breath. Back from the commercial. Thank you to our sponsor, InsurePhilly.com. Matt Malone, the MPM agency, up to 10 quotes in about 10 minutes. He'll help you out with any of your insurance needs. We got you covered. Thanks to Pops McCann's Irish Whiskey, which we finished the whiskey, so we're just down to beers now.
Has
Brody
anybody addressed
pounded
any
too
of the
many-
comments whatsoever.
I've been looking through them.
That's where we're missing. my
Deke,
dad.
your,
Yeah,
your,
I
your
need to-
dad, Deke chimed in at one point. And
What is Deke
I
a
see-
Carson guy?
Deke was a Carson
kinda, He was on the. He was Carson.
so it was me and Deke were Carson guys.
Yeah, I was more the
DJ and
Hurts.
Flan were
And
were.
yeah, AB was.
And AB wasn't necessarily Hurts. He was just kind of
He just
anti-Carson.
didn't like
Listen, but here's the
Wentz.
thing. I wasn't a Hurts guy until I saw how Wentz handled the situation. I think
Is Phyllis your mom?
Yes.
I
She
think
said, "Yo, let Brody talk." I love that.
I think
love that.
I think Wentz didn't handle it right.
And I agree with you to a certain extent, right? But like,
He
if you get to a-
congratulated him to
if you
getting
get to a
drafted
point-
here.
yeah. Well, we're
And-
talking after that, right? What do you
I don't
again?
agree with it either.
Again, what are you going to do? Like Rob was saying, like he never came out and like this is all lip service. Sirianni could have sat in that press conference yesterday and said, "Yeah, today Hurts is my starting quarterback."
Yeah.
He could have said that. What does that do?
Right.
What does that do?
It
Yeah,
does
we all
nothing.
know that Joe Flacco, he may compete, but Joe Flacco is not going to be the starting quarterback.
No.
If the Eagles draft a quarterback in the third round,
Doesn't surprise anybody.
is there real
Not a
competition
starter.
then?
No,
Okay, so
I just think
Jalen Hurts is your obvious starter. There's nobody
And I
in
think-
the league that's
right,
going to start
but
over
so-
Jalen. Hurts.
But
Jalen Hurts knows that.
But we
So
say
what
that,
does,
but at
what
the
does
same
Sirianni
time,
saying
at
do?
the same time, though, they've talked about trading
Trading Hurts. Yep.
So like at the same time,
who knows
Hurts-
what they're
Hurts.
going to do.
Who has talked about that other than the fan base?
There's been reports out there that have said that
They
if
would
they,
make
if
him
they go
available.
to trade Watson,
I'm not even trying to be an
if
asshole, but by who?
I don't know the actual names, but
Lock
NFL,
Four said it about.
Westchester U?
NFL Net, that would be
Jeez.
cool.
The Westchester Pub?
That would be cool. The NFL Network.
I've not
I
honestly
heard it-
heard
I heard
anybody
it
saying
all.
that Jalen Hurts is getting traded.
No, I heard it
no,
off,
not getting traded, but he would be in trade talks if it meant to get a guy
Right.
like Watson.
Yeah.
Or Russell
Yeah,
Wilson.
Watson
So let
and
me ask you,
Wilson would have
in
to
all
include
honesty,
Hurts.
if you're the Houston Texans, are you asking I need Hurts to be in the deal?
Well, I mean,
Right
he's
now?
he's a,
Are you really?
That situation that's going
and
on?
he's,
Yeah.
I mean, he's from that area.
So
He's
you don't
a
think that you're
stand-up
just gonna-
guy. They need
You don't think that
somebody
you're just
that can
going
be
to
the
trade
face.
off Watson and just say I need to get out of this
No,
situation?
I'm talking about.
I
you'd be-
need Hurts to
No,
be in the deal. though.
You'd have to give a lot of
I'm
picks.
kidding.
You'd
Well,
have to give
why
up
wouldn't
picks.
you? Why wouldn't you?
Why
If you're Houston and you say we're giving you Watson, I want picks and I need a quarterback back. Why wouldn't you take Hurts?
True.
He's cheap.
Because
You got him for 4 or
unfortunately,
5.
the Eagles
4 years.
drafted Hurts with a second round pick, so his value is overinflated.
Why?
Well, that's past. That's the Eagles' value, right? You're still getting him at second round money.
But
How
it's
much is
not-
that a difference between? Well, what would he have been? A third round?
Isn't it
He's
after
got
the
4
first round
years.
is not guaranteed after that?
Yeah.
I don't know when it becomes
First
not
round.
guaranteed.
Yeah,
First round,
no.
you get 4 with the option for 5, right?
Right,
Second
right.
round, you get the 4.
Or-
So I don't know that is really a big pushes the scales one way or another for the Texans, but they're going to need a
I
quarterback.
think from Houston's standpoint, they just want a quarterback that's not handsy.
Which
that doesn't like
for right now,
massages.
we know that's Hurts. For right now, we know that. Who knows? Maybe he heads down to Delilah's later. or
I was
something.
on
don't know.
his side all the way up until I heard there was 40 different people.
It's
Once I
going-
heard it was 40,
it's going to
18
trial.
to the good,
You're-
22 to the bad, I was like,
Steve
There
was
might
like,
be a problem
if
here.
it stays under 40, I
it's
can root for it."
predatory. If he's at 39, I'm like, I can evaluate that.
I mean, that's just your handful.
I'm going to take a step back on that 39.
I-
Once you hit 40, I'm like,
I
I got problems.
I see what everybody's saying about like if how would you feel personally if you were Wentz, but at the same time, the Eagles have to make decisions that are best for the organization, and I want people to realize that he has not since college been able to stay healthy. So why not have insurance? That's what I want you
And
to
it's
look
a
at.
cheap way to do
Right.
it.
So here's the thing.
It's just it's a bad look, of course, because it's a
I agree.
high
honestly,
draft
I don't
pick.
know the answer to this. I'm just going to ask straight. How old are you?
37.
All right, so you're in the realm. There's no saving you. All right, Don. I
all
honestly,
right.
Don,
So-
I honestly, DJ, I have no response to you and to your generation. You guys look at sports in an entirely different way than me at 42 or Jimmy at 43. You really do.
Yeah,
Sure.
my
Exactly.
society is more like a microwave
Don't say
society.
society. We're in the same society. Your generation.
I meant
totally different.
Sorry. My generation lives in like
Like
the
society.
microwave society, like,
Totally.
like want everything right now.
So I totally believe
get
that your generation is the
We're not
one.
for the developing.
Your generation is the one that forces guys like Ben Simmons out, forces Carson Wentz out.
Not me.
Yeah, you're
No,
wrong.
not you specifically, but what I'm saying by your generation is that you guys realize the power of Twitter. You guys realize the power of social media
Yeah.
in general,
Yeah.
and you guys will hammer and beat a point to the
But
death.
I don't think you can blame the fan base for saying that Wentz.
I'm going to
is
say why
here.
you can.
Why
So have you ever heard of a thing called a Q rating?
Q rating?
Yeah.
No.
You don't know what it is?
But they don't.
Do you know what a Q rating is?
They don't look
Jimmy?
at that though.
But do you know what it is?
Players don't look at that. Yeah, it's like your popularity,
Your
or
marketability.
So what's that say about him though? If he's
Hang
so
on,
worried
hang on.
about
If
that,
you
Hang on. So do you know what? Did you know what a Q rating is?
I don't think he cares.
So I'm going to tell you why it's very important. So
No.
every organization, every team, every sport, whatever, players all have a Q rating. The Q rating,
they really put stock into this. Come on.
it's 100%
do.
accurate.
Really?
No.
Yes.
The players will say they don't
That's
recognize
crazy.
unless you're a guy that's very very high.
You think
Then
the
you
team
realize
If you're a guy
that
like
you're
LeBron
very
and your Q
marketable,
rating is through the roof,
and
yes.
that's why you walk around every interview and have a book in your hand.
Reading
You read the
reading
first
page.
So here's what I always say.
See, Michael would
I
just
think
roll
of this-
dice.
Yeah.
You gotta appreciate the guy
Yeah.
that's just this is who I am.
They didn't have Q ratings back in the day. So your Q rating is your marketability rating. It's your
All right.
ability to be able to go out there and not just from a player standpoint, from a team standpoint, how can I market you? So a guy like Chase Utley is a really good player. He's great, phenomenal. His Q rating is low because his persona is not very
Yeah, because
good.
he was seemed like he was
Curmudgeon.
quiet and a jerk. Yeah.
Correct. Baseball players traditionally have low Q
Yeah, they're
ratings
jerks.
because they're not, but they're not also marketed the same way.
Oh.
Basketball players will traditionally have a high Q rating because they're marketed appropriately. Smaller team, smaller roster, higher Q rating. Football players, same boat. If you think
Hockey,
that
screw hockey doesn't have
Screw the hockey.
Minimum.
the
players.
French don't have Q in their
Nah.
live in their
soccer players, high Q
their
rating
alphabet.
because it's
Yeah,
international. It's not.
world. Yeah.
So I always look at this and I look at a player like Carson Wentz. I look at a player like Ben Simmons. So if you're a team like Houston, right, and you're looking for a player you're going to trade to Harden to Brooklyn or to Philly, and Ben Simmons is in the trade, right? Do you think as a fan base, and even to the Colts, we only got a second round pick for Carson Wentz, right?
Could turn into a first.
It'll be a first.
Should be the winter.
As long as he doesn't get hurt.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't get hurt.
But like his marketability, you don't think the fan base diminishes that?
For who Wentz?
Yeah.
Not really.
We're the fifth largest market. You don't think that the fact that the majority of our fan base that speaks out, that's not the majority of the fan base, but the majority of the fan base that speaks out, isn't calling for that dude's head or Ben Simmons' head, and we don't devalue our own players.
See,
Look, last
We
year,
totally
last
diminish
year-
the value of our
Do you
players.
think that the front office of the Colts are listening to WIP and Fanatic though?
I don't.
And
I don't.
hearing that?
And I don't.
How many advertisements, how many marketing products did Carson Wentz have?
Anyone I know is Jesus.com.
Like
I didn't even know that.
The AO1 thing.
His Kingdom Crumb.
Correct. He
His,
doesn't
uh,
have many, right?
King the bum.
Right.
He's not the type.
Whoa. He's
Well, no,
totally the
No,
type.
he was in that the energy. This was it.
The blue.
The energy
Yeah. I
group, wasn't it?
NRG, the one that is the sponsor of the Eagles.
Yeah, he's
They
in
sponsor
that.
I mean,
the
he's
Eagles,
also
so that's
a
an
Nike
Eagles reaching
athlete. I mean, he made money through Nike.
Yeah,
But
so there you
let's
go.
be honest. How many Eagles players do you see sponsor
Are-
things other than the
right.
car dealerships?
Yeah.
And that's fair.
How many NFL players you see
You don't
on a
see a lot of
national televised commercial though?
Tons.
I see more basketball.
100%.
Yeah, not as much.
Well,
But I'm
Aaron-
gonna
Aaron
throw what
Rodgers
I'm doing
and
is
Pat Mahomes.
what
Yeah,
I'm
State
throwing
Farm.
in there.
Yeah.
So
Right.
they just have
Not
State
even
Farm.
Russell
That's it.
Wilson.
Yeah,
Not
that's what I'm saying. Like you don't see
Not
Brady
Brady.
doing a lot. He might
No.
do like local, like maybe
Doesn't
New England or
have to.
Tampa. He doesn't,
Doesn't
have
have
to. But if you're talking about curating, like didn't he do a watch or something at one point?
Who wins?
No, Brady. Like, you're
Eli,
talking about curating.
Eli
If-
did Citizen.
if
or
you're
whatever
a-
it's called.
If you're at some type of product and you want a guy with a big name, but wouldn't you go after Brady? And I get it. He doesn't need it. His wife makes more money than he does. He doesn't need money.
He makes a ton of money.
Couldn't-
He can renegotiate his contract. He still has $500 million.
She's a billionaire. He's not.
He's there though.
I know. I'm just saying.
My whole point of this where I went with this direction was that the Q rating matters. We devalue our players here like you would not believe.
That's just the city.
If
But it doesn't have to be that way.
It doesn't have to be, but it's the way it is. So what are you going to do to change it? You
Dude,
can't.
We walked a 4,000-yard quarterback out of our city for a second-round draft.
Dude, they booed the
with
first
conditions.
quarterback after winning a Super Bowl. It's the way the city is.
They booed
Who?
Brett Myers after winning the
Yeah,
World
like,
Series.
dude,
He hit
it's
his
the
wife.
way we are.
He hit his wife.
That was post.
Wait,
that was
hold on.
pre. That was pre. That was the year after the World
Hold
Series.
on.
He had a shitty game, the home opener, and they booed him.
Jimmy Garoppolo was drafted 62nd overall in the second round when Brady was still in his prime.
So yeah, I thought Garoppolo was drafted kind of high, but I thought he was a third rounder.
So 62nd, that
in
puts him
2014.
They
so
just
that
won a
puts
Super
him
Bowl.
at what?
The
3
end of the
picks
second round.
before end of the second round?
Right.
what ended up paying out, right? Didn't because Brady got suspended, right?
Well, Garoppolo
Garoppolo played a few
that,
games.
yeah.
Yeah, you played those games.
And he made a big contract. he made a big contract off of
Yeah.
a few games he played.
Didn't they win the Super Bowl in 2013?
And then,
though?
Yeah, they
and
won
then
that.
what did Brady do? He forced the fact that they traded Garoppolo to be like, oh, okay, like you're gonna either trade me or him, and it turned into them getting more compensation because I got a 1 from San Fran,
Ask you this,
and that's a Hall of Fame quarterback.
100%.
So do you think Brady was
So out
scared of
the
losing his
examples that
job?
you out of the examples that you can give across the board, how many quarterbacks do you think you can name that a guy was drafted in the second round and it worked out?
Bryce Love was drafted in the first round.
Yeah, Jordan Love.
Jordan Love. What the hell? Who's Bryce
Aaron
Love?
I don't know
Rodgers.
why we both did it. We're both in the
Wasn't
same
he-
boat.
wasn't he a
Rodgers?
He might be a golfer.
Jordan
Is he a
Love
running
was
back?
a first rounder.
he's a running
The running back that got
The
drafted.
Stanford.
And he's out. He got cut this week.
What I'm going to say to you is that there's more times that's just bad. It's bad business.
I mean, look at KC. It worked
And it
out
is
for
good.
them when they drafted Mahomes.
we're not the Patriots.
No, Mahomes.
Dude, I would have drafted you over Alex Smith.
Alex Smith is good.
Alex Smith wasn't drafted by the Chiefs.
It doesn't matter. I'm saying if I have to pick a backup for Alex Smith, I would take Brody right now.
Okay.
Brody, listen, Alex Smith is a feel-good story. He's never really been great where he's been.
Nah, he was good.
He was okay.
Stop it. I'm not going to do this right now. I'm not going to do it tonight.
Dude,
He
hold
was
on.
above average.
What?
Alex Smith, no.
What was Alex Smith's best year? Was it second best?
I'd be
Carson?
shocked if Alex Smith has
Niners, right?
20,000 career yards.
He's
Passing.
played a long time.
I don't give a shit how long he's played. I'm still standing by 20,000 career yards.
Yeah, you're off by 15,000,
35,000. That's not great.
I mean, but here's the thing. Let's see his best year, right? I'm looking right now. His
He's
Pretty
best,
sure-
notoriously a guy who won't
pretty
throw
sure it
over
was
10
on
yards.
year.
He's a
was
game manager.
2000 in Kansas City,
Is my mic
26
working?
touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 4,042 passing yards.
What
That's
year
right
was
up
that?
there with wins.
That's a
2017.
good year. Is that a good
And they
year?
drafted
And they-
Mahomes.
Are you saying that's a
They
good year?
drafted and they drafted Mahomes.
But are you saying that's a good year?
20,
Yeah, 26 and 4.
That's a good year.
It's a good year.
And they drafted Mahomes the
That's a great
following
year.
year.
Just out of curiosity, how old was Alex Smith?
Younger than
Well, right now,
Matt Ryan.
he's 36 now, so he was
32.
32,
It's
31.
kind of different
Real-
than drafting a guy
I
in the
just-
second round over your 26
I
year
just
old
want to say
quarterback.
one thing real quick. Paul
It's
Spencer.
10-year difference.
Paul Spencer's chiming in. Paul Spencer,
What about when they
That's right,
drafted
kids.
Dak Prescott
stay in school.
or Romo, right?
Just stay in school, kids. Thank you, Paul. That's our public service announcement for the night.
I got
Why
it.
did you check? I don't know what in regards to what.
Because we were talking about old school. How our minds are different than the younger minds.
Tell
And we
Paul
said
that
these
the
kids should stay.
Cowboys sucked when we were young, and they still
Listen,
suck.
no.
we may not agree on everything, Smitty, but I'll agree with you. I don't like the Cowboys.
They-
High five on that.
They sucked when we were young, but they were really good when we were young.
Yeah, they had a
They were winning
stretch of
Super
3
Bowls.
years, and somehow they became America's team. And it's
They
like,
were winning
honestly,
Super Bowls when we were young.
Well,
They
when's
still
the la-
suck.
When's the last time they
Relevant?
won a playoff game?
20.
All right, we don't need to go down that path because that'll be a long night.
path.
And we still didn't even get to the Eagles
What,
draft
when the
pick.
Cowboys last playoff win?
I know you.
2018.
All right, you want me to make my selection
win
of who I think?
Yeah, we
I-
need to get to. All
I
right, so
gotta
we're
say
skipping
some-
over all these other picks. Who are the Eagles picking at 12?
Jalen Waddle.
With the 12th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select wide receiver and Heisman Trophy winner Devontae
Oh,
You
yeah.
Smith.
think
Still there?
He
he's,
falls
you
that
think
That's
he's
far?
12.
falling
Waddle.
12?
I think Waddle gets picked before Smith.
That's.
I don't hate that. I
Bold.
would be fine with that.
I'd be happy with that, but
I'm,
What?
12.
Waddle was the number, like you said, Waddle's the number one ranked receiver coming in. I think he could go to Carolina at 8.
if there's no
Does
trades,
Carolina
That's what
really
I'm-
need a receiver though?
Yeah, they just lost Curtis
yeah, they
Samuel.
do. They don't
Yeah,
really
but they
have
have
anybody.
Robbie Anderson and what's his
You
name?
keep giving me this Robbie Anderson.
He-
He's not
he
as
had
good as you
1,000
Hey,
think.
Temple
years.
made Temple
DJ
tough.
Moore, I'll
Not
give you
1,000
DJ
years.
Moore,
Yeah.
but you need
Hey,
to,
Philly,
but
get Philly kid.
They both had 1,000 yards last year.
I agree with you, but in this league, you know that you need more than 2 wide receivers to win.
Oh yeah.
So third
True.
when it hurt, right? Especially with Darnold.
But is that their most? What about quarterback?
Can I fire,
Sam
can I fire
Darnold.
out my pick?
You
Can I
really
fire
want,
out my pick?
You really want Darnold as your starter?
I don't think Darnold's
Darnold's
as
gonna be
bad
the
as
starter,
you
yeah.
think.
He's their
Yeah, I
starter.
really don't think he's that bad. I think the Jets are.
The
I
Jets
really don't
stink.
think. Yeah,
I don't
Jets
think he's
are the
bad,
Jets.
but if I had an opportunity at whoever left at that point, I'd.
I don't think there's going to be a
Is
quarterback
he better
there.
than Mac
Honestly,
Jones?
I swear to God, I
Is
hope
Dar-
Sanders
is Mac
versus
Jones that
hosted
much
by
better
Jimmy
than
Jefferson and
I think he can
Brody
be
next
better.
year.
Okay.
My man's going to get in everybody's face. I'm loving everything you're,
You're
bringing
full
to the
of
table.
shit.
Right,
Okay.
and we're- yeah,
I gotta say
Everything that
something.
you're bringing.
and we're
I
gonna
gotta
get.
say something about your what you're saying about the Q rating.
Is it good or bad?
If
Is it no? Is
if
it good
you're
or bad?
making your decisions based on what the media says, like if you want to leave your team based on the media, you're just soft.
Get him,
Oh.
Brody! Get him, Brody!
I agree with that 100%. I agree with that 100%.
So, hold
Hold on. Here's my point with about the Q rating was, if the fan base lowers somebody's Q rating, if the fan base lowers a player's value. So, for instance, a Carson Wentz, the guy goes out and throws 4,000 yards before the season even starts. We're on his ass and we're lowering his marketability.
If you're a scout and you hear one guy say this guy's not good, you're just gonna be
No,
like, nah. I
So
don't
a
want him there.
GM has to take into account what the scout says and also how are we going to be able to market that player. You've been to a ton of games with your dad, right?
Yeah.
I think
So when
they're
you go
looking
down to
into
the
that too
stadium, the
much.
first thing that you see is all the flags with the players' faces on
You
them, right?
really think they draft
And
Yeah.
you know every guy that's on those
Well,
flags,
we're gonna
right?
draft
So
we're gonna
you're
draft
what,
Jalen
9?
Waddle 'cause he can sell
11.
cars.
11. So you're 11.
right?
So you as an 11-year-old can drive up to the stadium and say, I know who that guy is. I know who that guy is, right?
Yes.
That has to do with their marketability. If it was the guy that
But he
was the
follows
fourth string,
the team.
Hang
too.
on. if it was the guy that was a third string
Hang
quarterback,
on.
you probably wouldn't know who he was,
Nate
right?
Sudfeld?
I'm just saying in
Actually,
general.
he's gone. Never mind,
Steve,
he's
let
gone.
me ask him. Let me ask.
But what I'm saying is,
Hold on.
as an 11-year-old, you're looking at those players. As a 42-year-old, I'm looking at the players and I'm going, who are the guys that are marketable? Who are the guys that are selling me products, whether it be jock straps or jerseys? Who are the guys that are
is
being
not
marketed
one
to
thing.
me?
No.
Wentz could-
Okay. I
If
see
you're a
what
Sixers
saying.
fan, they're telling
Yeah.
you, hey, go out and buy an Embiid jersey, right? Go out and
Yeah.
buy a Ben Simmons
Because they're
jersey.
good.
They're not
Yeah.
going out and telling you to buy a Tobias Harris jersey,
I mean,
right?
there's one good thing that Carson could
It's
market.
kind of there, but it's not there,
You know
right?
what? Carson could market benches.
Hang on. Basically, what we're saying is a marketability standpoint, there's players that you would say, I want to go out and buy their
I think you're
jerseys,
looking at way
and there's
too
players
much
that you
into
say,
it.
I wouldn't.
I don't
Would-
think it's.
If you don't see a lot of people wearing one guy's jersey, do you really think like the scouts are gonna care about that?
No,
So I
Yeah,
think
they
a team,
no.
I don't think the scouts care about that, but I think the
Yeah.
team does. Because if the team is going to invest $100 million into a player, they want to make sure that they're able to sell that player.
Yeah, but dude, you're comparing.
They want to make
football
sure
and
that they're be
basketball.
able to sell tickets for that player.
Nobody's buying the third string cornerback's jersey, just like they're not buying Tobias Harris jersey.
Correct.
'cause
We're
they're
not
the
talking about
star of
that.
the
We're talking about a
So,
Carson Wentz.
Let me get back to
And what I'm saying
And
that
we're
if you're
and you're
trading a Carson
comparing-
Wentz to the Colts based off of his marketability, or you're trading a Ben Simmons based off of his marketability, do you think Ben Simmons has marketability in Houston?
No, because they're not trading him off of that.
they're trading him based on
They're
talent.
trading him because he stunk.
So you don't think the teams evaluate what the marketability of a player is before they trade him?
No, I don't.
No, because
Steve,
if that was
because
the case, what's Tobias
my
Harris
mom
market?
my mom just called you Jeff Lurie.
That's fair.
All right, so let me ask. I'm going to go back to the-
Owners give a shit about how many tickets
on.
and how they can market a
So
player.
then why
But you
are
know
there
what? Wait,
trades
but
for bench guys?
He doesn't have to worry.
exactly.
He fills that stadium.
Who does?
Lori.
Lurie, he doesn't have to worry about
Dude,
that.
it's
That's
Philadelphia.
I could give up my seats today.
You were
and
100
somebody will
listen,
pick him up.
You were 1,000 times correct. You don't think that the Colts have to worry about that?
No, it's the NFL. Every
The Colts
stadium
are-
sells out,
I-
whether it's Jacksonville or Arizona. It's the
So
NFL.
Jacksonville
dude.
actually blacks out games.
That's what I was going to say.
Well,
There
they're
could be a
sad.
blackout.
Well, then don't use them as an example
still
from
the
your
NFL,
marketability
because-
standpoint when they
Because guess
black out
what?
games.
Guess what? Jacksonville
Tennessee's
might black
blacked
out
in
their games.
playoffs.
But let me tell you something. If they have a game against the Eagles or the Patriots or the Bears,
They're selling
their
it.
stadium's going to sell out because they know
You're
going to
be shocked to hear this, but it's still fucking blocked out.
It doesn't matter. They still
100%.
sell out the
You
game.
picked the worst team that you possibly could. One of my best friends lives in
Dude,
Jacksonville,
that
and his
game-
biggest complaint about living in that city is my team, the home team that lives here, is blacked out half the season.
All right, but that game's still going to be on somewhere, like NFL Network or CBS.
It's not
or-
there.
The home team, though.
So let me. I
Unless
want,
you get a satellite.
hold on.
Unless you get DirecTV.
Dude,
So-
they lead the league in Thursday night primetime games every year. I don't want to hear them complain.
Because Thursday night
Yeah,
sucks.
exactly.
Since Brody's taking over the show and doing a great job,
I
gotta ask Brody a question. So you said if a player worries about their Q rating, that they're soft, right?
Players don't.
So
If
hold on,
you're-
Brody. Is Carson Wentz, if he worries about his Q rating, is he mentally soft?
Yes.
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 Wait. And
We
this
have
kid,
a winner.
this
We
kid
have a winner.
has a Wentz jersey. He's got Wentz on his bedroom wall. He's got Wentz.
That's what
Can I
he
address
was,
it?
That's
Can
when
I address
that
it?
was in 2017 when he was good. Everyone thought he was MVP.
Can I address that, though?
Dress away.
I don't necessarily think that Carson Wentz cares about his Q rating as much as his agent does. However, the team that's drafting Carson Wentz wants to make sure that the player that they bring in is going to be a marketable player. You're a bad businessman if you don't.
What
There's
is Tobias
I
Harris
wanna
market?
point
Give a
out-
shit about
Exactly.
Tobias
What
Harris.
is Tobias Harris
You're
market? He's a max player.
You're comparing a franchise guy to a third role guy on the team.
Who am I comparing? Just so I know who you're talking
Wentz and Tobias Harris.
about. I didn't compare Wentz to Tobias
You just
Harris.
said Wentz is more marketable than Tobias Harris.
I said Wentz is more marketable than Ben Simmons. I said Ben Simmons
then
and
you
Mark.
brought up Tobias Harris.
I'm saying in regards to what their Q rating
because
would
Ben
stand
Simmons is a better player than Tobias Harris.
100%.
So that's why he's more marketable.
Do you think that Ben Simmons is marketable around the league?
Yes.
Yeah.
How many commercials do you see with Ben Simmons in?
They're all in Australia.
I think he has a Beats one.
I'm
Yes,
being
no,
honest.
Keep-on brought up one. What does
I
he
think
have?
he has like a Beats.
He does
emblem.
have beats. He
Oh,
does have
yeah,
beats.
there we go.
He does have beats. I've seen him in the beats.
What else?
How many
How
commercials
many
have you seen
Tobias
Steph Curry
Harrison?
in?
No, Steph Curry's in the
I seen him in the
Really? I've
Cheez-Its
never
national
seen
level.
Steph Curry has
The
a sneaker.
goldfish with
Wait a minute.
Boban,
I've
they're
never
great.
seen
They're
them.
very,
Awesome.
they're very
he is
good.
a
I'll give you
sneaker,
that.
but you never see.
All right, I need your Eagles pick.
But my whole point
I-
on the Q rating, just so we go back to that, is it's your marketability.
So you
If you can sell a player,
So the Eagles took Andre Dillard because they thought they could market him. They traded up and gave 2 first-round picks because they're like, Andre Dillard, man, we can.
1,000% you're
sell
missing the
cars
entire
for
point of it. What I'm saying is
Gary
when you trade a
Barbera.
player, when you trade a player that has marketability, when you trade a player like T.O., he's awesome for your team, but he's got marketability. He can sell your team.
So then why do they trade for bench guys?
Right.
I'm not saying that you don't. I'm saying that Q rating plays into it.
I think you're looking too much into this.
I'm not.
Maybe there's a small factor of it, but you're thinking it's like
if you're paying a
way
guy
more.
$25 million a year and he flamed out with a fucking team like the Eagles, he's absolutely terrible, and the entire fan base turns on him and says, we need to get rid of this guy immediately. Are you a team that wants to bring that guy in to be your starting quarterback?
I mean,
If you're
it depends on who they-
Indianapolis and you're looking at the way that Carson Wentz was projected here, Are you feeling comfortable with bringing that guy in here?
Yeah, because it's not as big a market. Philadelphia and Indianapolis are completely different.
100%.
Yes.
So when you're trying to market a guy to 300,000 people versus 3 million people, you don't think that's easier?
Yeah, it is. But he
and when I'm trying to sell you as a
also-
4,000-yard quarterback, you don't think that's easier
well,
than Jacoby Brissett?
Wentz, it also worked out because Frank Reich was here with Wentz
That's what I was going to
and
say.
made him a
No
good player.
excuses.
Well, yeah,
I'm
of course
saying
it's easier
strictly
to go
from a
there.
marketability standpoint. If you don't think
He
that you can
almost went
sell,
to Chicago. The Bears apparently were like in talks with him.
Yeah, it wasn't like he was like, I'm only going to Indy. Indy.
If
gave
he
the
went to
best
Chicago,
offer.
he was going to be in the worst. He was going to probably be in a worse spot because it's bigger.
and whose draft pick would you rather have, Indy's or Chicago's?
Chicago,
So why did we trade
Chicago.
him to Chicago?
because
They
didn't
decided
all-
not-
they
decided
pulled out.
to sign Andy Dalton.
they realized this guy stinks. Let's go get the other
They
ginger.
gotta
Or
choose
maybe
this
that you
And
bought
Andy
into,
Dalton.
or maybe that you bought into the Chicago was there and Indy wasn't.
Chicago thought that Andy Dalton had more Q, marketability.
Jalen Waddle, Jim. By the way,
Jalen Waddle,
yeah.
where you going?
Offensive line.
I knew it. I knew it.
I-
Rashawn
You got with
Slater.
Slater?
I wouldn't hate
I
it.
would go offensive line. That's what they're going to go.
I
with.
wouldn't hate it.
I don't disagree. Yeah, I don't
Do you
disagree
think
with that.
how high? How sure are you, Steve? Like, are you like 75, 80?
So here's what I'll say. Howie Roseman is totally the dude that would trade out of the sixth
Yeah,
spot
I could
and
also
draft a wide
yeah.
receiver and go, we had this guy at the top of our board and knew we could get him.
Yeah. He's gonna always outsmart the guy.
The problem that you have trying to explain your point all day long is that you're backing Howie Roseman,
I'm not.
and I'm not.
I'm not backing Howie Roseman. I think.
So then
he-
no matter what you try to say to explain, to argue with me, it's backing Howie Roseman.
I think that.
Honestly, no matter what you say, they traded away Carson Wentz. It was the right decision, right?
I think it had to be.
Yeah.
You're backing Howie Roseman.
No,
You
I'm
can't
not.
bring Wentz.
He
back.
traded him. He did it. I don't have that on my side. You're backing Howie
Yeah,
Roseman.
but once you fire Doug,
You fired Doug.
and-
That was a Howie Roseman decision. You're backing Howie Roseman.
No,
Continue with
I'm-
what you're telling me.
I
I'm
like
not
that.
backing.
I like
I'm telling
that.
you
You
what
did.
happened.
You agree with him trading Wentz. You agree with him
Paul.
firing Howie Roseman. You're backing. Or you agree with him firing Carson.
I did not agree with
Doug
firing
Peterson.
Doug. No, I'm telling you
Terrible
what happened.
coach.
Paul said we just missed our pick because we were discussing the marketability of the
The
players
only
that were
thing I
available.
disagree with about Wentz getting traded is the money. They pay him. How much was it? Like
A lot.
yeah, like over
Too much.
100 million, and then you get rid of him the next year. That's the only thing I disagree with.
That's why Howie's horrible. Look, we
Horrible all the way around.
we're done. We're done. We're done with this. We're done with this.
I got a
This part.
question for Schmitty.
Get
All
him.
right. He's not going to.
Is it gonna be a Carson Wentz question?
Get him.
Okay.
So
Your
earlier,
favorite color? No, I'm kidding.
I heard you say that last year Tua had weapons. Where
Love it.
you consider Devonta Smith and Matt Collins weapons?
I
Devontae
think
Parker.
Devontae
Oh,
Parker.
you
That's
thought
what
you
I
were going to dodge.
I-
You were going to dodge the wrath of
He's-
Brody.
he's
I
been
meant to say
keeping it.
Devontae Parker.
Mike
Mike
Gesicki's
Gesicki's
good.
the only weapon he had.
I think Devontae
Devontae
Parker.
Oh! Get him, Brody.
2019, he was pretty good.
Didn't he have
Devontae
I already
Parker.
threw my hat. I got nothing else to throw.
Didn't Devontae Parker have 1,000 yards?
He was the hot free agent, right?
No,
that
but
everybody
did he
went
have
to trade
1,000
for.
yards
He might
last
have,
year?
but he fell into it.
He didn't do as well as the year before.
But how come that Fitzmagic was able to make them good?
He did.
Yeah, he
won a
made
few
them
games.
relevant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he made them relevant.
In
Fitzmagic
one
does
game.
It's all good.
everybody.
I appreciate
They have
the
no
fire
running
you
back.
bring. I really do. I enjoy it. Steve left
All right,
because he
my-
can't hang.
But my pick for the Eagles is they traded.
I would not be surprised. if
Trade
they
it
did
up
traded.
or down.
that. Back.
No, you got to give us one up or down.
If it gets to them at 12, they're trading down. Obviously.
well, yeah, that's the easiest way.
There's rumors that they want to trade up. I don't know who they would trade up with and what they're trading up for. If they're trading up for a receiver, I lean to what Steve is saying. If you're going to trade up for a receiver now, so you go from 12 to 9, say maybe Denver wants to trade back. Are you still getting the best receiver you wanted? Or are you trading up now because you're afraid that one of the other receivers you wanted isn't going to be there? They spent too much draft capital on receivers last year.
I thought Steve was
When
joining
we started-
us for the first 10 minutes.
When we started
You got me heated.
when we started talking
Heated.
draft,
It's good, man. I appreciate the
Listen, I'm
conversation. It ain't
into it.
nothing personal.
When we started talking draft earlier in the season, I said I don't want another
I
receiver.
promise you, I can't take any of this person.
No,
I
So
didn't-
you're
I didn't
fine with
want Ty-
Jalen Rager, and
I like Rager.
Brody,
personally.
get him, Brody, get him.
you're fine with.
He's not a
Greg
dog.
only ally in the
Arcega
room.
Whiteside being your starter. You're fine
Hey,
with that.
Ortega
hey,
was-
terrible.
You could
Hey.
have had DK Metcalf,
Hey.
Yes, you
Devontae
could've.
Adams, Justin Jefferson.
Yes,
You're
all
okay
three
with
of them.
that.
Arthega Whiteside's breakout season.
Wait,
is
wait,
coming.
go ahead,
You
keep-
wait on it.
Keep naming these people. Go ahead.
DJ, you
firing
stop
him.
coming at
I'm
my guy
kidding.
like that.
I
kidding.
just said
I'm
Do you
kidding.
realize how high his Q rating is right now?
I know.
Brody's Q
got the
rating is
highest.
off the
Dude,
friggin'
you
charts.
realize people are going to be
I'm-
calling tomorrow to have
I'm gonna
Brody
get-
for commercial.
Yeah.
Pat's gonna be calling me tomorrow. Hey, what's your son doing Sunday
can
morning?
we
I need
get-
him on
Yeah.
Devereaux. I need
Yes.
him on the Devereaux Sports Show.
His Q
So-
rating, as far as CB Pro Live is concerned, is at like a 10. Like
If
it's
you
the
get a-
highest you can
If
be.
you get an email from a guy named Nate, let me know.
Do not
No,
let your
you
dad
named-
negotiate the contract.
You
That's all I'm
named
saying.
you named all these guys, and you know what the problem is there? You know who didn't draft those guys?
Who?
Howie Roseman. Do you know who's still drafting this year? Howie Roseman. So this whole draft for me, I don't know what Howie's going to do. I don't trust what Howie's going to do.
Right,
Stockpile for next year, and I hope Howie's gone.
right, and
That's my dream draft.
Steve.
That's my dream
Steve,
draft.
what would I tell you if they drafted a wide receiver, but then Howie's gone next year and we have a new GM to draft all those 3 picks? You on board?
So yes, I'd probably be okay with that.
Okay.
That's my.
I'm going to
dream
be pissed off in the immediate.
But
Yeah,
But
but
if
in the
it's like
future, in the
Devontae
long
Smith's a Heisman, like you don't, those guys don't.
No,
just-
I don't. I honestly, no. It's a no. It's a no. I don't care how you explain it. If you said
How
we're
is
going
Hurts
to draft
supposed to-
Jerry Rice, I honestly am still not okay with it.
How is
I
Hurts?
would take Jerry
How
Rice.
is Hurts supposed to get better if he doesn't have weapons?
I don't want Hurts to get
Exactly.
better because he wasn't the guy I wanted.
No, if
So
you
you're-
no, but hold on.
but you gotta
So
look
you
past that
don't
now.
want him to
Yeah,
get.
come on.
You got to look past that.
Now you're rooting for your team to fail.
Is he your guy?
Yes,
So you're rooting for the number one pick next
the
year.
entire
can't blame him.
foundation of this team
Sucks.
is broken. It's
I agree.
terrible.
I agree.
So if
But I'm never
Jalen Hurts
rooted-
goes
I'll
out
never
there and
root
has
against them.
Right.
a 9-6, listen, if Jalen Hurts goes out and has a 9-6 year, or 9-7, or a 10-6 year, we're going to be stuck with Jalen Hurts another year. There's nobody
So
at this
what's
table.
wrong with
What's
that?
bad?
He's not a good quarterback.
How do you
If,
know
if
that?
he goes 10-6, then he is.
How do you know he's not a good quarterback?
So Carson Wentz went 10-6.
Yeah, he did, and then he got hurt the rest of the years after that, and then 9-7 the next 2 years, and 4 and
Breaking news, break-
You're
Breaking
saying
news.
what?
Oh, the Sixers getting their ass kicked.
Pat Bernard just got traded for Brody.
Uh-oh.
I love it.
Never sports.
I love
I'm
it.
just-
So if
Is it? Wait,
Phil
wait.
Spencer's breaking
Hang
the
on,
news.
hang on. A team or B team?
I
Oh.
think it's the show, right, Paul?
and
It's not. There's a delineation that
There's a
happens. There's
hierarchy?
actually, I think, 3, but they only call them A and B, and I think one
Wait.
team is fraudulently claiming they're A or fraudulently claiming they're B, but there's 3 sections.
So-
I'm
so
going
It's
with
a
Paul.
weird
But here-
situation.
yeah, but the
What?
best part of the trade is that Pat's not even going to another show. It's just future considerations.
It's cash considerations that'll never be paid
No,
out.
it's not cash. It's future considerations.
It'll
That
never
could
be paid out.
Right, it could be nothing.
Steve. Okay, so
Listen, if you're about to attack me, Brody,
Get him,
What?
Brody. Get
you
him,
just
Brody.
said that if Jalen Hurts these Eagles go like 9-7, 10-6, then we have to keep him for another year, and that's a bad thing. That's saying that he takes the Eagles to the play. Well, not necessarily the
No,
playoffs.
in this division, that's the
with-
playoffs.
Well,
Right.
yeah, but with no O line, you're
No
saying that-
weapons.
yeah, no
Well,
weapons.
let's come back on the no O line. They still have a decent O line.
Yeah, but it's
It's not
old.
as good as it's been.
It's banged
Look,
up
they
and
still
old.
got Lane. If Mailata pans out, Kelsey's coming. Kelsey's old.
Mailata's going to be able to
Who's
do some
Mailata?
really good
Jordan
commercials.
Mailata.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah. Oh, that guy.
Oh.
See, that's where you're losing credibility when you say,
Yeah.
"Oh, that guy."
Mailata's
The
gonna-
all-season-
Hold on, I have something for Steve too.
Mailata's got a lot of Q.
All right, so you're saying that the fan,
That guy's not good.
you've came on other
don't like him.
shows and have criticized the fan base for being bad or
we're awful.
awful. Okay,
We are a flat out toxic
But-
fan base.
but
That's
the
true.
And you're
same
part of
reason,
it.
Yeah, you're
the
not
same
wrong.
reason for you saying that we run good players out of this town. You're also coming on here right now and hoping that they fail. That's just as
Yeah,
bad
you're
to
I
me.
rooting
can't
Who?
blame him.
You.
I'm hoping that they fail because the fan base is putting this guy on a pedestal and he doesn't deserve to be.
Who, Howie or
Who?
Hurts?
Hurts.
Nobody's
Why
putting-
not?
Bro, are you kidding me?
I'm not putting him on a pedestal. I just think he's going to be good.
Why not put him on a pedestal?
Why, like,
He's our new guy. You're
See, now,
investing in
This
him.
is where I have the disconnect with the fan base piece,
right.
and I'm gonna our art industry. For
Nixon.
those who aren't watching this, I'm air quoting our industry. I can't stand the radio stations, right?
Yes.
You get the
Yeah,
extremists
they're
that call
annoying.
in,
the
right?
radio stations,
Are
the
the
Facebook
extremists,
pages.
Especially
yes.
Pat from Ambler.
No offense, Pat. And no
From
offense,
Ambler.
No, all offense taken.
And
Fire all that offense at him.
and
Yes.
Av- Avalon Brian, the guy on our
AB
show.
is just
I love
like-
AB.
is just as guilty.
Watch your mouth about AB. He's reasonable.
But that
Ish.
that's,
He's reasonable-ish.
those are the extremists. The guy that's sitting there listening to the radio and going, you know what, I gotta call in and give
Yeah.
my thought. Like, we do this as a hobby. And these are our opinions. You could take what you want from them. We've been drinking all night. I don't know what they mean.
I haven't.
You haven't. No.
The Brodies.
That case out in
Wait.
Al Avi says otherwise.
But the fan base, the idea that the fan base can be rough. These players all tell you they don't hear it. They hear it. But the front office, if they think the player is who they want and who they drafted and has the potential, they shouldn't care about the fan base.
Exactly.
Let me ask you this.
That's what I
Do you
said.
think the fan base is tone deaf? Not the fan base, the ownership and that group, Howie Roseman included.
Is it all front offices or just the Eagles?
But why?
I'm
should
saying
they-
the Eagles. I'm
why
saying the
should
Eagles.
they
The other
worry
team-
I'm
about
saying the
the
Eagles.
fan base?
I'm saying the Eagles front office and scouting department and GM, all of them.
No,
Do you
I
think
just,
they're
I just
tone
think
deaf
they're
to the?
bad.
Do you think they're tone deaf to the fans?
No, I
Yeah.
think they're just bad.
Why?
This
They're
is
bad
what
at
I'm
their
being
job.
honest. Do you think they're tone deaf to the fans?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why? Wait. Why? Because this fan base has been calling for Howie to be gone.
Exactly. They said
2
it at
years,
Phillies
and he's
games
still here.
last week.
Have
Still
any of
here.
those fans ever been a GM?
Yeah, in our fantasy world.
Well,
That's not really fair, Brady. Brody.
Exactly.
Brody. You know who you are. It's not really fair.
I
Roderick.
mean, you might as well call him a.
I'm going to tell you right now, if
He's
you
a
want to have
legend.
any kind of career in what we're doing right now, do not ever side with a GM. When I said what I said, you just go, you right. You don't know.
At
That's
the
a
end,
bad
at
angle.
the
kid.
end of the day, the other thing, like, listen, this is gonna sound like I'm defending Howie, but I'm not. But Howie's right now the only GM that's won a Super Bowl in Eagles history.
By accident.
It doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
With players that weren't his.
The sun shines on a dog's ass
When
some
they
days.
play, right? I mean, he's the one that made the Ajayi trade. He's the one that signed Blunt.
See,
He's the
I'm
one
with
that signed Torrey
trades
Smith.
and free agents.
Right.
He's
Because
good
you
at
know
it.
why?
He's not
Because you
bad
know
at
why?
it. Yeah.
These guys are proven players.
He can't
doesn't have to
evaluate the time.
evaluate how
It's
good they
interesting.
are.
We slammed Chip Kelly for getting rid of Deshaun Jackson and LaShawn McCoy. Turns out we won a Super Bowl without them.
Right.
Saved a shit ton of money to be able to make those moves that you're bragging about right now.
There was
And just like we're saving a shit ton of money to get rid of Carson Wentz.
There was a guy that
That's
was
still
on
Howie's decision, right?
ESPN or somewhere that just came out and
You
said
can't
that about
give him a
Chip Kelly.
pass
It
for
was Trey Burke.
trying to
Trey
correct
Burke,
the
was
decision
it?
he
About
made.
Kelly. I'm sorry.
Somebody came out this week and said Chip Kelly's system was not as it was
Trey came out and made the comment about
no,
Howie.
but there was a former executive. Is it Joe Banner? Maybe
Chip
Somebody-
Chip Kelly's offense wasn't terrible. He picked the wrong defensive coordinator.
somebody said that Chip Kelly's scheme was not far off from being successful.
Yeah.
Like it could have worked in NFL. People just
It is,
Then it
it is
doesn't
totally
go-
the problem that he had was his defense. He
Also,
picked the wrong
he
coordinator.
was also arrogant as hell. Like he didn't.
Absolutely,
like-
but the guy won 20 games his first 2 years. That's not awful.
No.
I'll take that.
I don't think it. Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, but
Trey Burke
He
came out
wasn't even
and said-
terrible in his third year, but when it came down to it, Billy Davis's defense was
Yeah.
awful.
Yeah, the
It was
defense-
But
absolutely
those are-
awful.
that's who he picked as his D coordinator.
You're 100% right, but if he picks a different defensive coordinator, he's not wrong. He was winning with it. The greatest coach of all time came down and said, I need to see what you're doing because this makes sense to me. It all comes
All right.
down to possessions. I got to try to have as many possessions as I possibly can, and you have the right idea.
I'm going to catch up real quick on the comments, and then we're going to shift gears.
All right.
This has
For
got
what?
this has got us all heated, really
I
heated.
want to.
I think
There's
it's
some
good
bad
discussion.
stuff.
I
So
love
wait,
good
wait.
discussion.
The future.
I'm not bad at Brody because he
the
disagrees
future.
with
The
me.
future considerations was a Wawa gift card, according to Paul.
Oh, I thought it was.
So that's
oh,
what the trade was.
It's a
Do me a
gobbler.
favor.
The trade was
Can you do me a favor?
you
Stop
got?
quoting Paul.
All
The
right.
guy's
Let's
head
go-
is going to get bigger than it needs to be, and
and it's
that
pretty
A
big
versus
already.
B show,
You know, that-
I don't need to be a part of
pretty
that.
big already. Jason Fogg said we need to have some open tryouts to find the next
Love 'em.
quarterback.
the
I
next,
like
him.
that.
the next Vince Papale.
And Deke says he's ready. The 57-year-old rookie is ready.
I hate the fact that he lied about being 57.
Right? Those numbers should probably be First, right?
I'm not gonna lie to you. He was part of the first witch hunt.
Oh, jeez.
I know that as a fact. Fastest guy on the field.
So what are we shifting gears now? Different sport?
I thought we wanted to talk a little bit of Sixers before
Yeah,
we close
I-
out. here, 'cause
I-
Holy-
Yes.
Brody, are you ready for this?
Yeah, we're all ready.
Not really. I don't watch basketball.
Okay. all right.
Hang on. Can we do this? DJ, can you switch seats with Brody?
Brody, how do you feel about Swamp Ace?
I kind of want Brody on my side, and him and I are going to converse.
No,
I got
I
stuff.
I
You
want
know-
to say one more thing to Steve, and it's not like
Oh, man,
I'm
you want
not
him on your
coming at
side,
you.
and he's
I'm not coming at you. I'm not coming at him.
I'm not.
I feel like you are.
but I
What
really
you said
am.
about you want the Eagles to like not do as good. I agree with that. They need
What? Then I'm not taking you to games.
They need a
I'll
higher,
take somebody else to the games with me if you're not.
I'll
gonna
go.
cheer.
They need a higher pick.
They need a higher pick.
They got 2 first-round
They
picks
got
next
3
year.
first round.
Three.
Three
picks.
first-round
Three.
picks next year.
I know. I'm saying that's why.
Why?
Like
What more do you want?
So that Howie can screw him up again?
Yeah.
We both,
Bill-
Brody and I are in agreement
You
that
really
if
think-
it's bad, that Howie's gone.
You think
I
every
think Howie's
pick in
doing
this draft is going to save their team?
Oh,
Oh,
I don't think.
Brody is on fire. That's the most sensible
They're
thing that's
gonna-
been said in an hour.
They're going to
He's
need.
on
In an hour.
fire.
They're going to need
Boom
more picks
shakalaka.
to keep building up the team.
Okay. And
That
you want
is
Howie making
legit
those
the
picks?
smartest thing that's been said in an hour. They are going to screw up this pick no matter what. He's right.
I don't think
That's
so.
been every
I think
year.
they're gonna
hasn't
get-
it?
That was when I said I'm pulling the pin, and I got attacked. And Brody sat back and watched. He waited.
And
He waited like a fox in the leaves
if
or something.
the Eagles get like
a swamp in
Say,
the ass.
Like a swamp in the ass. He was waiting. Waiting.
It's an ass in the swamp.
An
Brian.
ass in the swamp ready to attack.
A swamp in the
say
ass.
they get like 10 wins too. That might make you think they don't.
Stop fidgeting.
He's
with
right.
the mic.
No.
Well,
He's
that-
right.
That will make you
If
think
they
don't
accidentally
need
get
picks.
10 wins,
They
people are going to
also-
think they're good.
Yeah, they also have
Well,
the
that
easiest
keeps Howie
schedule.
And that
here.
keeps
Stay
Howie
out of
here.
this, Don.
They have
Yeah,
the
You
easiest
stay out of it.
I'm trying to help
Young
you.
Don.
So
This is
they're
Brody's
gonna
time.
need they're gonna need a good pick, and if they're gonna need a good pick so
To get
they
a good
should-
quarterback, right?
Yeah.
A good
Right,
pick when?
right.
What?
When are
Obviously.
they going to need a good pick? Next year?
Yes.
Do
Right.
you
So
think
you're saying they're
this
gonna be
whole
good?
draft is gonna save their team?
It's not. You know it's
yeah,
not.
It's not.
No draft ever saves a whole
No
team.
draft. See,
No,
look,
but one draft in particular
Top-
got them in the right direction.
Hang
Top-
on. Brody's got other stuff to say. Go ahead.
top 5
Hang on.
teams.
Hang on.
What
Jim.
do the top 5
Jim,
teams?
Jim, it's not your time.
No.
Let Brody speak.
Things that
I'm the father here.
Let Brody
Brody,
speak.
I am your father.
The top 5 teams, often what do they need?
Quarterback.
Why are you that bad?
Quarterback.
You don't have a quarterback.
Quarterback.
You don't have a
Exactly.
You need a
franchise player.
quarterback.
There's not gonna be any good quarterbacks now in this draft when it comes up to them. If Hurts doesn't pay
He's
out,
right.
they're gonna need
This-
a low
this
pick
dra-
to get a quarterback.
Jalen
Brody, are we in
Hurts is
agreement that
gonna be
Hurts
good.
isn't going to pan out?
No, see,
Well,
he's a Hurts guy.
I don't. It's too early to tell for that.
Yeah,
But you can't
boy.
say that they're going to need to draft a quarterback next year
They
if you're not a Hurts guy,
They
right?
will. They will need.
They're
most
gonna need
like-
to,
they
right?
most likely
So
will.
we're off the Hurts train, right?
Come on, baby,
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah.
Hurts.
Right now, you and I just made a moment. We both agree Hurts is not the guy.
So all
You don't
those,
Yes.
know that. You don't
Tell
know
your
that.
dad we need a quarterback next year.
Steve, you don't know that Hurts isn't the guy.
I'm not going to lie to you, Smitty. We just discounted everything you said.
You don't
Right
know.
now, this is the Brody, Steve, and Jimmy show, and we're
I'm-
dealing
I'm-
with that.
so all those Hurts rookie cards you just made us collect, we're out.
Oh,
Hold on, Brody.
You
You're
bought
out.
them.
You're out.
You
You're out.
bought them.
You bought him. You
Hey,
fucked
see how
up.
it works?
That's what he just
See how that works?
Yeah.
You made a mistake, Jimmy.
Throw the
You
period
shouldn't have
under
thrown that money at them.
All right.
I'm not going to lie to you. There's going to come a time in the
If-
next 2 years
I'm
where he's
just
going to go, I need a BB core drop 3, and it's going to cost you $450.
I
And
don't
you're
even
going
know
to
what
go,
that is.
do you remember all those Hurts rookie cards that we had? We could have used those to buy a drop 3 BB core because that's where I'm at.
Hold up.
If
Just
what
real
that
quick,
If
the
Hurts
Bucks
gets-
are shooting 65% from 3 tonight.
Yeah, they're not.
Shocker.
Outrageous.
The last thing we need is a perimeter defender
Outrageous.
who doesn't score.
120. Why you're not a Thibault guy?
I love
I
Thibault.
was
I
just
think
saying
he's
he's
talk-
top
are you talking
5
about
defender.
Ben?
in
That
the
was
league.
totally a Ben
Yeah, I
comment,
thought you were
but
talking about Ben.
it was totally
Oh, that we miss him?
yes.
Yeah, of course,
Yeah.
I agree.
We only are going to talk about missing Ben when
Can we
when
get
it's
into the
convenient.
Sixers
Hey,
real
buddy,
quick?
Let's get into this.
Yeah,
I,
let's-
can't,
all right.
I honestly, that's all I'm here for.
So
I thought we were
I
gonna
want so here's all right.
I was going to say this is the
I'm
Sixers
off-
segment.
I
I'm
had-
off the Hurts train until the draft. If they
We're
do
all
good in the
football.
draft, that might
We're all
change it.
We're
a
all
bit.
football.
Here's
We're
my
done. Football's done. We're now.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Is Brady? Brody, are you doing anything this weekend? You want to come sleep at my house? I'm not. Listen, I legit. This is not even a weird thing. I have a
Sounded weird.
10-year-old.
Sounded weird.
I know. I have a 10-year-old and I have a 12-year-old.
You
You can legit come over. We'll barbecue. We'll make some burgers. I need you to school my kids because they're not on your level. I have 2 kids, one that's younger, one that's older. They're not on your level. I need them to be on your level. He's coming to my house this weekend.
All right, so
I'm gonna make you work though. I got some long stuff that I gotta do.
are we in the Sixers now?
I think we'll get into the Sixers, right? We'll get into the Sixers.
Can we please?
Kevon, play the Sixers music. Dun, 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 dun. I'm kidding, Kevon. We
Hang
don't
on.
have Sixers
Kevon
music.
is literally napping.
Laughing. I was just looking for it because I thought you had it for a
No,
second.
I was just busting stones.
DJ,
All right.
let's switch.
Oh, you actually,
they-
you
I want to
actually.
do it.
There's just there's this.
I'm letting you know right now. It's very warm.
This is like an outfit change at the
Watch
Grammys.
him turn around and be like, well, mine's warm too. Brody bringing that swamp ass.
All right, so all I'm going to let you guys get it. And actually, you know, I just let you guys go pretty much. There you go. All right. So we had the. You gonna say it? You want to go all the way through?
Are you really
76ers.
the whole way through?
All right. Hopefully, this isn't as much of a circus as it was because we went completely the wrong way in the draft thing. But I
It's
enjoyed it.
not me. It's
I
That
enjoyed
was
it.
fun.
It's not
I
you.
enjoyed it.
It's not me.
It's never you. It's never you. It's,
Yeah.
it's never you.
It's Steve.
Just so you guys know, debuting next week on CB Pro Live, it's me and Schmitty's show. We don't hate each other. We just disagree.
We just yell at each other.
That's what makes great
It's-
radio,
that's
right?
That's a phenomenal show. We just don't hate each other. We just disagree.
Just have an opinion and stick by it,
Right.
right?
And I respect
Aaron
that.
And we
Rodgers is
did.
the most
Listen,
overrated.
we're good.
Yeah.
We're good.
Right? You're joking, right?
We're
Brody-
done. We're done.
Brody-
Football. We're done.
Brody's my
football.
guy.
This is
We're
years.
done. We're
in
done.
Brody's
the
my
whole
guy.
show.
Brody, you don't have a bedtime, right?
Yeah, he does
It's
have
a school
tomorrow,
night.
so
School
we're
night.
going to be getting out of here.
Not tomorrow. You don't,
I don't
kids.
care about school.
Yeah, neither do I.
It's a Friday.
The kid's got a career that he's
Friday.
working on right
It's
now,
a
and you don't
Friday.
see
They
it.
don't do nothing Friday.
I'm going to sit you down
Nothing.
with Paul.
It's
And he's going to give
Friday.
you to stay in school. So
They
Don't
don't do
get him
nothing.
anywhere near Paul.
We don't do
He might
nothing
become
Friday.
a Cowboys fan.
Tell your daddy's
we can't have you
overreacting.
becoming a Cowboy.
He's overreacting.
So are we in Sixers now?
We're in Sixers land.
Let's get into Sixers.
I don't know how you
I
guys.
don't-
I don't know how.
I don't know what's going on in tonight's game, so don't you, because DJ will hit me on that and go, well, the tonight I've been watching.
Listen,
it. You know I haven't.
Listen, I'm not even going to go there. I just go to the simple fact of the matter is that they've had an opportunity to simply take control of this number 1 seed, and they just continue sitting players.
Let me ask you a question.
Ben Simmons
I
with a
love it.
mysterious illness. I love Ben Simmons, so let me tell you, this is not me ripping him, but a mysterious illness that you've been out for 6 days that you can't play at all, and you didn't even
Ankle.
travel.
He tweaked his ankle.
Doing what? He was.
Practice. Who knows?
Is that what they're reporting?
They said he
TJ, what
tweaked
do
his
you
ankle
think about
today.
all these
He
guys
tweaked his
sitting
ankle.
out?
It worries me because now Tobias has a knee injury all of a
Right.
sudden.
Right, he's
Pretty big
playing
deal.
tonight.
It's kind of concerning.
Right, and they're getting their ass kicked by the Bucks. Missing Simmons, they're still down 18.
On the road,
So,
back to back.
Listen, we can't debate how the schedule was made or where we're
Yeah.
at, but it's pretty an unfair situation.
Yeah,
Bucks haven't played
this-
since Monday.
This stretch of games is horrible for the Sixers.
Yeah, they have to split with Milwaukee, dude. If they don't,
So-
Milwaukee's within 1.5 games, and they have the tiebreaker on them.
So here's what I'm going to fire at. And I don't know the exact numbers, but I think I'm pretty close.
Okay.
Prior to this
He's
Phoenix
32.
game,
He's 32.
nice. I don't even know who's 32.
Matt Ryan.
All right. He's 32. He's 36. I don't know the exact numbers, but going into the Phoenix game, I believe they were somewhere around 18 of 23.
Shooting?
No, games. They won 18 of 23.
Phoenix? Yeah, they're on a tear.
No, prior to Phoenix, the Sixers were like
Sixers?
18 of
No,
23.
I'm not saying that.
You're not awful in that, I think.
It might have been better.
They
It might have
had
been
two-
like 19
They
of
had
24.
2 win streaks where it was like 5 or 6 in a row.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
But don't you think that you have the opportunity to like basically take everybody out of their misery? You do it now. You just let Brooklyn back in, and now KD comes back
Let
tomorrow.
me ask you a question. How much better do you think they can be? Better than 18 of 23. That's 18 and 5.
I mean, I can
bro.
go back to 5 games that they should have won this year that they shouldn't have lost.
That's dope. How much better do you think they can be
No,
than
no,
18
no.
to 23?
They're right. They're
Wait,
not going undefeated, but they just played four of
You're
the
telling
last
me
home
they shouldn't have
games.
beat the Warriors?
They lost to it. Like if
So
you're
again, they lost. What they lose to the Golden State? They
lose-
lost to Phoenix, right?
They lose tonight. That's 4 in a row. If they lose
3 in a
and
row.
no, but if
3
they
in a row.
lose both to Milwaukee this weekend,
If they lose to Milwaukee again this weekend, yeah, that's 4 in a row.
right? And then you're not even in the number 1 seed anymore. Which
Listen, I get all that, but what I'm trying to say to you is that even if they lose 4 in a row, it still winds up being like 19 out of 25.
so you're okay with like these guys just not playing?
It's
like,
19 out of 25.
I'm okay with them playing if it's like
legit, right?
do you want the
Not-
number 1 seed?
Yeah,
I do.
right? Because you're not.
Are
Gonna,
you okay with them just kind of floating
100%.
around and just
Steve,
kind
if
of
they don't get the number 1
going through the
seed,
motions?
Again, I'm still going to go back to this that it's 19 out of like 25.
Yeah, but are we okay with the 1 seed or do we want a championship?
I don't really give a shit about the 1 seed if it
I'll
doesn't
be
mean we win a
honest, I'll be
championship. I
honest.
want to win the 1
don't
seed
care
just because
about-
it
I'll be
gives us
honest,
something.
the 1
Go for
seed's
it.
nice, but I care about a championship more.
I agree with
You
you,
want
but the
home
1
field
seed.
or
but
home court?
Let me ask you this: do you think with getting the number 1 seed, you have a better chance of getting a championship? Because
So here's the thing.
you don't have
Out
the
of those
same
games that
about
we've lost over the
Brooklyn.
last few days, they were all with we were short staffed. We didn't have Tobias. We didn't have Ben. We're short staffed on those games. Obviously, we'd want to be full staff at those games, but at the end of the day, that's where we are.
But not even
I
that.
can't change the fact that players got hurt or whatever. Like that's where we are.
Yeah,
But we're still
Are they
19
really
out of
hurt?
like
Are they really
25.
hurt 'cause they
They're-
just paid
it's
against the
19
West.
out of
It's-
25. That's
it's rest.
19 and 6,
it's
dude. Like,
rest. Like, and also by the way, for the Q rating, he's got a Tobias jersey on.
I know.
So,
I
I'm
didn't
just
want to say it.
He is
I didn't want to say
marketable.
it.
He's marketable.
I didn't want to say it. When he was mocking me, I didn't
I
want to
know.
bring up
Yeah,
the
but
fact
you're
that he was
talking
wearing
about
the third
No,
best
no.
player.
All right, but anyway, get back to the number 1 seed.
19 and 6.
I don't even care about that. These guys are being
should.
rested because the regular
Do
season.
you know how good 19 and 6
Yeah,
is when
it's
you're playing
very good.
70
Yeah,
games?
I know, dude. But I'm saying that.
Do you?
Yeah, I'm aware.
That's like a 30-year season.
I want to
know?
make sure you're accurate.
I brought it up.
Do
I'm
you
the guy who
know?
brought it up.
Are you sure?
I fired it
Are
out.
you not-
19 of like 26. dude.
All right, you know. So it's good, right?
I was just stalling until Bernie
All right.
got back. Say what you want to say.
Now he's back on your side.
Yeah.
But like, it's the NBA. The regular season doesn't matter.
It does.
No, it doesn't.
So
No, it doesn't.
I'm
It
going to give you an
matters.
example of
You
when
know
it
why
matters.
it doesn't? Because
gonna
the
give you-
Lakers will finish as a 5th seed and
You're a
still make
young
the
kid. You don't
finals.
know. I'm going to fire this out there just so because you probably don't know this. Had the Sixers won the last game against the Bulls in 2001, we would have had home court
They're like
advantage throughout the whole
19
thing.
and 9 in their last. 19 and 9. They've had 9 losses.
Out of their last 26.
That's still pretty good.
That's good, but it like
But go back to their last
some
20.
of their losses have been.
Listen,
Hold on. Are we really
terrible.
going to complain compared to what this team has been recently in the last 5 years?
I think I'm
I think
concerned
they can be
about
better.
the
the
fact that they're
trend.
in the
By the way, I just want to finish
Go
this
ahead,
point.
Jim.
At the last game of the season, we played the Bulls.
Yeah.
We intentionally played all of our backups and lost it. Had we won that game, we would have had home court throughout the entire playoffs. Instead, we threw that game, and the Lakers wound up getting home court throughout the whole thing. We had to go out to L.A. for the first 2 games. We stole one in L.A. The series is probably different if we play them here for the first 2 games. So to say the regular
Was
season
that the
doesn't
Magic
matter. It matters.
Johnson at the center game?
No, that was the AI season.
That was the AI in
Magic
2001.
Johnson.
I thought you were talking about like in the 80s.
No,
No, it
that
was
was-
2001. We threw the last game of the season,
That
played all of
team-
our bench
that
players.
team had no business being in the finals, dude.
They were the best defensive team in the league.
Yeah, but that offense like had
But they
it was
almost
Allen
lost
Iverson.
twice. You know what I mean in the playoffs, right?
What,
they
the
had to go
Bucks?
7 games, and the Raptors.
They stole one game. They stole the first game of the series
And
in
then
LA.
they got
If that
they
game's
got
at
ran
home,
through.
if we're playing
Right,
4-3 here, it's a totally different
No,
scenario.
it's not.
maybe
Nah, it's
Maybe.
not. Dude,
It's
Kobe
100%
shot every-
different.
I'm with Steve on this one.
You think they win the
We
series?
stole a game in LA. If we win game
I
one
don't-
at home,
So
I don't
then why
know.
didn't-
I don't know. They win the
Don't they-
series. It's a more like we win more than one
But
game.
they won one out in LA, and then they lost their 3 here.
we were the number 1 team
because
in
they
the
were-
East.
At that point, they were just
To say
done.
that it's a fallacy, like it was a fluke, it's not a big deal. To say the regular season doesn't matter, it absolutely matters. If you finish with the best overall record and you're home, no team wants to go on the road.
So
So,
then you
but they're
agree
not-
with me they need to win the number 1 seed.
Absolutely. That's what
All right.
I'm arguing with him about. We're on the
No.
same page.
Okay.
Why
Like
would
you're
you-
somehow still attacking me. Jesus Christ.
No, but if you're saying that,
You're attacking me even when you
Lakers-
agree with me.
the Lakers are
That's
the
why we
Lakers
make a
are in the
good
Western
show.
you have a very
Conference.
slappable.
Don't give a
face.
shit about the Lakers right now.
But you just did.
I was
That was
referring to
2001.
2001.
Okay, but the Utah Jazz have the best record in the league. Nobody's
Right.
probably beating that. So
They
what's
stink.
it matter?
I don't
They do
know.
stink.
Somebody
I don't-
can catch them.
I think they're a fluke.
They're
Yeah,
They're
I agree.
fake. And
soft.
Mitchell just got hurt. I think they're fluke.
Oh,
So
he
they're
got hurt?
catchable. You just totally
they're
destroyed
like
your own
7
point.
games above anybody else. Dude.
Here's what I want to see the
they're
Sixers do.
catchable with
There's
Mitchell
like
being
12
hurt.
games left.
They're
I want,
catchable with Mitchell being hurt.
Go ahead, Joe.
I want the Sixers in a position where we don't have to play Milwaukee.
You're gonna.
How does that happen? Can we make that happen?
Milwaukee is
So I
straight.
actually
Can we make
disagree
that
with you. I
happen?
want to play Milwaukee.
No,
I don't.
I don't.
I'll play the Nets.
Milwaukee has our number.
I'll
dude.
play the Nets.
Do
Every
they
time.
though?
I think they do.
They're
The
like our
teams that
kryptonite.
scare
They're
me
just-
the most in the East, the Heat, the Nets, and Milwaukee.
So
Anybody else?
who
Wait, was that your
matches up?
order? Because my order is
I'm
Milwaukee,
fine with playing
and I
Milwaukee.
don't care about the
Oh,
others.
not my order.
So
It's
who
not my order.
matches?
It's
So
just-
first up, Brooklyn is the team that I'm more concerned.
I'm not. They
they got
they
one
can't
ball.
play together.
I agree. They got one
I'm
ball.
concerned with Brooklyn more than Milwaukee.
I'm
Oh,
not.
don't
Sorry,
I'm
Brody's
not.
next to me.
Don't say that by Steve. You're gonna make
Wait,
him-
you're concerned with Brooklyn?
Yes.
They haven't played together. You've
I
seen
don't give a
what
shit.
Yes,
they
they have. Haven't
Not
they?
not
They
the
played
not the
6
full
or
squad.
7
They played
games.
7
Like
games.
4
Listen, I'm not gonna
games
lie to you. If you give me the opportunity to
So
have 3 of the
imagine-
top 10 players in the league, I'm gonna take it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
There's
there's no
only
doubt
one
there.
ball.
in a
I don't give a shit how many balls there are. I'm still taking it.
in a playground.
They don't play defense.
Yo, listen,
sorry, guys.
listen.
We need to get that. We need to get. We need to get that isolated.
Wait, say that again. I don't care if I have 3 balls. I'm still taking it.
3 balls, 4 balls. I don't give a shit.
5, 6, whatever I can handle.
How many can I fit in my mouth? I don't give a shit.
All right,
Oh, jeez.
but I'm just saying, like the Nets worry me because on paper they're loaded.
Offense. Listen, we
But
can
they
be the
still gotta
greatest
get that-
defensive team in
They
the
gotta
world.
Get that chemistry down. There's only
Listen.
one ball.
2 years
Well,
ago,
well,
when we played against Toronto, Toronto wasn't a great offensive team,
Nah, not really.
No.
and we should have won that series.
Absolutely.
That's just travel all
Absolutely.
day long. I don't give a shit what anybody
Well,
says.
Kawhi?
Kawhi traveled 100%.
100%.
They I don't even go to that. They lost that game in Game 4 when they had a chance to put that
And then
series away,
I'm not gonna lie to you.
and they lost.
They were right where they needed to be in
They
Game
could've went
7,
up 3
and that was a
games to 1.
fucking travel.
Weren't they up 10 with like 6
Yeah.
minutes ago?
I don't
in
care.
Game
They could have
7?
went up 3 games to 1 and put it away.
I honestly don't care.
And they lost.
In that scenario, they were up.
That was a
There was
travel. I
2
agree.
bullshit calls. So first off, when
How about the offensive call they
when
called?
Jimmy Butler
Right.
steals that ball and goes down court, that's an M1. It should have been. It
That
should have been a foul.
Yeah,
It's a
that
foul.
was. I said that to my dad.
And then,
Yeah,
even though they
yeah.
didn't call it, we're still in a great position. We go back the other way. It winds up going out, and they get an inbound play. Anybody who looks at that play, like if the NBA should be absolutely embarrassed.
Yeah,
that Toronto Raptors won the championship on the fact that they didn't call that. He catches the ball. They didn't start the clock on time, and he took 4 steps. He catches the ball and literally
are you
takes
gonna do?
4 steps. For all of the people who say that the process didn't work, that's an Eastern Conference Finals team that beats Milwaukee and goes on to win
Yeah.
the championship.
I
and Jimmy
agree.
Butler stays.
And Jimmy Butler
And-
stays.
Yeah.
So where we are is they fucking put Kawhi in the best possible position because that looks better for the league. The officials should be embarrassed the fact that they didn't call that walk. They didn't call the foul on Butler. And we're even in that position. That game should have been over on Butler's free throw. Period.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
And we get hammered as being a shitty fan base and that the process didn't work. It worked. It worked. We were there. We beat Milwaukee in that Eastern Conference Finals. Is there any debate on any of you from there that we beat
no, we
Milwaukee?
would have beat them
I think we
100%.
We would have.
I don't-
You just said the shitty fan base thing though. You're
I have a problem with our fan base.
you're calling us a shit.
But
There's
you're
no
part
doubt
of-
in my mind.
You're a part
We're
of
the
that
most
fan
toxic
base.
fan. I'm not. Listen.
Who do you root-
I've
who do you
raised the
root for?
both.
Who do you root for?
I root for our teams,
So you're a part of the.
but I
shitty
will
fan
acknowledge the
base.
fact that our fan base is awful.
I don't think they were awful. I think we won.
Your
a lot out of our
generation has
players.
absolutely destroyed sports in this town.
Oh, come on, dude, stop.
What I think,
Your generation walks around like we don't get anything. We've never won anything. Everybody shits on us. We're not
Have you
happy.
Not listen to my dad on any of these shows. That's him. That is literally him. He talks about how he's.
You don't
gone
think
through
that
the
your fan
worst
base runs
generation
around
of
like you're-
Philly
like-
sports.
Your fan base,
I've come on here and said that I've been rather
I
spoiled.
think I think his age has been spoiled.
100%.
Dude, the Eagles are the winningest team in the NFL regular season wise in the last 20 years.
But your generation does not walk around like that. They do not think that. They're
I
the
think-
same fan base that will run Carson Wentz
I
out
can
of here
speak
because we
for
didn't win a
my-
championship quick enough for them.
I could speak for my friends and I that I think we'll agree.
Your
that
friends and I do not make up the whole.
I'm saying for my generation, the people that I know within my generation, I think we've been pretty happy with what our teams have done.
I
Granted-
disagree.
Granted, we haven't won the championships to prove it, but
You won one.
we've had some good times.
You won one.
I've won 2 in my lifetime.
No, I'm talking about football. You won one
We're
Super Bowl.
talking about a whole fan base, though.
2008, right?
Yeah, the
That's-
Phillies.
And the
The
Phillies.
It's 2.
You're gonna say that your age group
You did
doesn't
go to
act like you
Frankfurt,
guys are
though,
entitled.
So I'll give you that.
What's that?
You did go to Frankfurt. I know math is hard.
Oh,
It is
there-
tough. It's really tough.
I love the
man.
Frankfurt shot. I love that.
Oh,
Tough.
Not
Any
gonna lie.
orange guys?
Jimmy, as a guy who's close in
Wait,
age of me and Schmitty,
did
you're
you-
close
hold on.
behind. You don't think
Hold on.
that their generation of fan base ruins our fan base right
Did
now?
you sit in the cafeteria at Frankfurt High School and ask for a fork
Ruined?
when you got cheese curls?
I did. We didn't get cheese curls out. I ate my pizza with a
Yeah,
fork.
but Steve, how many problems occurred during your lifetime with the fans and the national media compared to my lifetime?
I don't give a shit about that
You
because I
just
think that's an
compared it.
overrated. I think that's an
How's it
overrated,
overrated? You're literally
lazy
comparing
media
that.
thing.
Come on, dude.
I'm
You're-
saying
here's-
that your fan base runs around and trashes every player that comes through here as if we've never won.
See, I
Wait
was
a
gonna
minute,
go.
what about
I was
when
gonna
you-
go the other way.
They
I
trashed
feel
Mike
like
Schmidt.
I-
what?
wait. I feel like his generation and that fan
We
base
idolize them.
falls in love with players.
We're
Oh,
at
yeah?
the Colt.
Mike Scott. Guys are getting tattoos for
Look
Mike
at the
Scott.
Flyers.
Who's
true.
he?
The
Claude
true.
Giroux.
Look at the Flyers.
Claude Giroux should be going years ago.
Dude.
People
So,
love G.
You're not going to
People
say
love
that.
the
You're not
captain.
going to say that his generation isn't the process generation that welcomed guys like Embiid and Okafor and
Yeah,
Ben
you're
Simmons
literally
in here
contradicting yourself.
and then ran them out.
You're
Ah,
no.
who did they
We
run
ran
out?
Okafor out. Okafor sucked.
I'm saying Embiid, or not Embiid, Ben Simmons.
Nobody
I
is
think-
They're the ones that are running
Dude,
them out because
if
our
you-
generation is
No.
okay with them.
Well,
No, I
you
think-
really
no
think he's
way.
leaving?
I
No
think they love
way.
Ben Simmons.
Steve,
my
Yeah,
generation
I love-
loves Ben.
I
have
don't
no
know.
problems with Ben.
See,
I don't know.
No problems with Ben.
I think Ben walks on water with these guys.
So my feeling is guys from our generation should know better.
No better, like and this is the conversation
Yeah,
we've had with him. That
No, that we should know
I
better
love
that
it.
he's not what they
It's-
want him to
it's
be.
Your age and my
I'm saying
dad
his
and I'm
generation is the one that wants him to be the scoring point
not-
guard.
No.
Our generation can look back and go, Mark Price wasn't a scoring point
I
guard.
literally
John
say
Stockton wasn't a
Oh,
scoring
see,
point
we're
guard.
on
that. Steve, you
we're
need
on
to
the
listen
wrong-
to our shows.
We're on the wrong
I
page.
literally
You know what? I
say
just
that.
became a millennial right now then because I didn't
We're
know.
on the wrong
I
page, brother.
literally come on here and defend Ben. Exactly.
I'm
a
what
Ben
you
guy.
just did.
See,
I'm
You
a
do.
Ben guy.
you know what
Yeah.
happens?
We're all Ben guys. I think everybody here's a Ben guy.
Jim's on the fence. We're getting him over there.
Joe
We're
White's
getting
got it
him
right.
into
Deke is now sleeping because Deke would be blowing up. Deke would be blowing this up right
Yeah.
The only reason I
Deke-
stayed as long as I did is because Deke's not here.
now. Deke is. You said that like no. Deke is. Ben needs to.
But he
find a
shouldn't
shot.
be.
Ben needs to find a shot.
But he shouldn't be.
If he's
Our
gonna be-
generation should be comfortable with the way that Ben plays.
But they're not.
They should be, though.
I agree. I
My
agree.
generation,
generation-
is.
Your generation is not.
Yes, they are.
They're
dude.
not. They fall in love with the guys like Levine and Westbrook who think that point guards are supposed to score 25 a game.
Actually,
The John Walls of the
Levine-
world are
Levine-
supposed to.
dude, wait a minute.
Zach
That's like,
Levine's not even a point guard.
That-
He's a point guard.
He's
They play him. He's a point guard.
Steve, that's Pat Bernard that you're missing.
No,
Yes, it is Pat.
What's
No.
your age? All right, I'm 23. What's my generation? What's your age cutoff of my generation?
23.
Yeah.
This feels awkward. 23.
Yeah. Why?
That's my.
That's your.
Yvonne got it. I'm sorry.
That's your-
Listen, you totally slept on that, DJ. It's 23.
Well,
That's
he
your-
does like 3 balls in his mouth
That's
at once.
true.
I honestly,
Generation.
We're getting-
I grew
we're
up in a
getting into
time-
overtime.
I grew up in a time where point guards didn't need to
Power
score.
play.
The teams that won championships didn't have point guards that scored.
I know. I say all the time how we compare Ben to Magic, guys like Magic,
I've heard
But
you say
even
that.
even so, like
Rondo,
Magic was more
Chris
was
Paul.
more
Chris Paul
distributor.
didn't have a jump shot till 6 years ago.
Chris Paul doesn't have a jump shot nail.
Yeah, he does. It's a lot better, dude.
Yeah.
I don't look at Chris Paul and I go, that guy's going to give me 25 a night. Like he's
No,
not.
you don't.
I don't. It's not.
Right.
That's not what his
And
job
that's
is.
what people want Ben to be, but he's,
He's
not that.
He's never going to be that, and I don't need him to be that.
That's what I'm saying.
Dude,
That's
he
what
said
my
that-
generation
If you
said.
got-
Your generation does not feel that way.
You want
Yes, it
superstars on.
does.
You want superstars on your team. What
Ben
are they
is a
gonna do?
superstar.
Okay, and
Yeah,
what's
I
he
agree.
doing?
So here's the thing. I'm actually more in the camp that Tobias can be a superstar.
This year he has been.
Do you want Ben?
I've
Should
always
Ben-
felt that Tobias, being a 20 and 10 guy, I'm okay with.
The problem I have with Tobias,
So he was
I'd
willing-
rather have-
we paid Elton Brand $45 million, which was crazy contract at the time,
yeah,
to be a 20 and 10 guy.
That's the Philly max. as
That
you
was a
called it,
max
the
guy.
Philly max.
Dude, when Elton Brand came here, that was a max contract, a 20 and 10 guy. That's what Tobias is.
I'd rather
We have
Ben
this
be the
crazy
15
ass
and
idea
10.
of what our players are supposed to be.
Ben can put up a triple double every night.
I'd rather have Ben be the 15 and 10 on the assists.
Yeah,
That's,
15
he's
and-
not doing that.
Yeah.
But I'm
He's
okay
not
with
doing that.
Here's the thing. I'm okay with Ben being a 12, 10, and 10 guy.
and locking up the other team's best player.
And,
That's where
see,
that's the where that I think that's where like me and
Consistently,
your
he
dad kind
doesn't
of
do
disagree.
it.
Like
Why?
Consistently, he
like-
doesn't do it enough.
What doesn't he do?
Score enough that
They
that
don't
But
agree.
what's enough?
no,
anything over 14.
which
who's scoring on his team?
Embiid.
Tobias Harris.
No, it's Embiid.
No,
But
I'm
see,
saying
those are the
after-
problems.
after.
So we hold them accountable for the money they pay them. It's not our money. I don't really care.
I don't care about the money, but these are the guys that were brought in and drafted to
But
be.
you
the-
know what? Come playoff time, Ben and Thibault are going to be your difference makers because of defense, and that's when you're going to see
Sure,
the difference.
I hope
but
so.
we're also seeing the
But-
difference now without him tonight. That Milwaukee's shooting 65% of the field from the field.
No, from three. From
No,
three.
and they're 62 or 63%
Jesus
from the field
Christ,
too.
yeah. So
the
that-
Sixers are shooting
Good thing we
54%
didn't bet that
tonight,
game.
yeah, seriously.
and they're still getting their
So here's the
asses
deal.
kicked.
I'm okay with catching Milwaukee at any time.
Milwaukee worries
the
me.
Milwaukee
I
worries me,
seem to
dude.
be our kryptonite.
Here's
Yeah.
why Milwaukee doesn't bother me. Because if you play Ben on Giannis, who's gonna beat us?
I mean, Giannis had a huge game when Ben played his last time in Philly,
Right.
but we didn't have Embiid.
Correct.
So there's no rim protection.
So then what's the difference? So that's where I'm confused about. Everybody that doesn't think Ben makes a big deal.
It's huge.
That's not-
deal.
no, here's the
He
thing.
makes a huge
But
deal.
listen, they didn't have Embiid and they took Milwaukee to overtime. They should have won that game. They don't have Simmons tonight and they're getting their balls blown out with Embiid.
Yeah, but,
and
but I'm
still don't
okay
think-
with that.
No, but people still don't see the value of Ben Simmons. That's my point.
Yeah.
I know
I
you
don't get
agree-
slammed
I know
because
you
they didn't
agree
play.
with me.
I see the value.
I'm 100%
But
a
is
Ben
he-
Simmons
I know.
guy.
I could tell. You don't.
I honestly see the value in Ben because I look at Ben and I go, Ben does 5 things from an elite standpoint. He's an elite rebounder from a point guard position. He's an elite rebounder.
but he's not
he's
a point
an
guard
elite-
anymore.
What's that?
He's not a point guard.
He's a point guard.
Point
No,
forward.
he's a point forward.
I don't give a shit. Point forward, you can make up whatever
He can-
term you
he's
want
a
to.
forward, but he can run the
That's
offense.
So, do you think Simmons is better than Draymond Green, or do you think that's the mold of?
I don't give a
players?
shit. Draymond Green and Ben Simmons play 2 different positions. Don't get mixed up in that.
I think Ben Simmons.
Don't get
No,
mixed
but
up in
I'm
all that.
saying like that production that Draymond gave.
They're
No,
very-
I'm saying, do you
Don't. So do yourself a favor. Don't get mixed up
But
in that.
Ben Simmons is the better player.
right?
So when you're trying to compare Ben Simmons to Draymond Green, do this. What's the productivity
No.
of Ben? Listen, what's the productivity of Draymond Green versus Tobias Harris?
My point.
Because they're both playing power
No,
forward.
my-
Green doesn't score.
He
I don't
doesn't.
think he. I don't think
100%.
Right, but my point is, if you
They're
can-
not the same. You're comparing a power forward to Ben Simmons. So here's the problem that we
Hold
all
on,
fall
let
into.
him say his thing. Hold on.
I'm
hold on.
saying production wise. I'm not talking about position. Production wise, if you get what Ben got, that Draymond, right, and you get the scoring from Embiid and you get the scoring from Harris, the Sixers are fine. I'm agreeing with you.
The trap that you fall into is that you go by that. Listen, I
I'm
understand that you're
going-
agreeing with me. I understand that you're agreeing with me.
I'm not
trap-
saying they're the same position. Do you see what I'm
I
saying?
got
I'm saying
that.
production wise.
I got your
Yeah.
production,
That's
but
it.
you're comparing apples to orange.
Okay.
From a productivity point, sure, they're the same thing.
What I'm saying is, if
They
you,
play 2 different
what I'm
positions to
saying
compare them.
is,
It's
I'm
unfair.
agreeing with you that you can get by with him putting up the same numbers that Draymond put up with Harris and Embiid as of what Golden State had.
But what I'm trying to say is they're 2 totally different scenarios. They're not comparable. I get what you're saying. I understand your point. You're comparing a power forward,
production wise, as Draymond gives you about the same production.
but I don't
as
need
Ben
them.
does.
I don't need to production wise say that they're the same thing
I'm
or to
not
compare
saying
them.
they're the same.
I don't need to compare them. Is what I'm saying.
I'm saying it's you think they're with Harris, Embiid, and Simmons, and
Correct.
then you do the same thing where when Milwaukee before Golden State had Durant,
I don't give
And
a
they
shit
ha-
about Golden State because they're not there. I'm comparing them to Milwaukee.
but they were a fucking championship team.
I got you.
I'm looking at who we have to go through now.
Correct. That's where I'm at now.
Okay, so let's stack them up.
Stack them up.
You don't think Milwaukee doesn't worry you at all?
They don't.
No, Milwaukee worries me.
Drew
Milwaukee-
Holiday can shoot.
Milwaukee worries me.
Giannis is good.
Chris Middleton's lighting us up right now.
Right, exactly. And they have a better bench than us. Everybody forgets our bench is not that good.
So that's the thing that that pisses me off about Milwaukee. They were smart enough to go out and obtain players at the deadline that helped their
DJ Tucker?
their depth,
Right.
100%.
And that's why I think the Nets.
But like, listen, I'm not
don't
disagreeing
worry
with you.
about it
I
as
get where
much.
you're coming from the Draymond thing, and you're trying to say let's
Hold
draw
on,
parallels
hold
to
on.
a team that is
We're
one versus
down.
where we're at.
Oh, it's 16. I was like, we're down 10, but then I was like, it's only 7 seconds left.
And
Never mind.
and we're already
I get your
freaking
parallels.
favored to lose on Saturday too.
I get your parallels. My whole point is to try to compare Ben to a guy that plays power forward. It's unfair to Ben. He hasn't played that position.
See, the thing with Ben is
It's not
it-
fair.
I consider Ben positionless basketball. I think he can play one of the
But
That's
see,
what
now
I'm
that's
saying.
where that's where I'm going to
that's what
go.
makes
So
LeBron better than Jordan.
I was trying to
'Cause he
go to
can
that
play 1
spot,
through 5. Right, you just said it.
but I was
don't
trying to
think
go
he's
to that
better than
point.
Jordan.
Nah, he is. He is.
No, he's not.
I was
what
trying to
makes
go
that-
to that point and say that everybody says that basketball's positionless, and it's not. It's not.
It's still 1 through 5.
It's still 1 through 5.
I'll give you that. But there's guys
Listen,
that are.
you can say that it's positionless game and players
Yeah,
play
yeah,
different. Embiid is still a center.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm saying Ben can play.
But there's
multiple
perimeter
positions.
players that can
Right?
play down low and up
There's
high.
positions though where
Like
you can
Ben could
interchange
play
them. You
1,
can
4, and 5.
interchange,
Ben could play 1, 4, and 5.
but you can interchange
Right?
your 2 and your 3.
Yeah,
You know who your legit 4s are.
right.
There's no interchanging your
But
3s and 4s.
Simmons could play 1 or 4 or 5.
But there's no changing your 3 and 4. You know who your best 4s are in the league.
Oh yeah,
You're not going to say that there's a guy that's 2 that I can occasionally interchange and have him play at 4 as a 4. You know who your 4s are. Right?
yeah, that's fair.
You know who your 2s and 3s are. They're your swing players. You know who legitimately they are. They're your Kawhis, they're your Paul Georges, they're your Jimmy Butlers. You know who your 3s and 4s are. It's not a positionless game as much as we say it is. Just because the players run the floor and their transition is not positionless, like when they get into a half-court game, it's positioned. They know where they're supposed to be.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
Right?
We wrapping
We
it up?
are. We are
Way over.
way over. Way over.
What are we talking about?
Brody,
I'm saying that you
Talking
can win a
about-
championship with Ben
We
Talking
gotta-
about the union.
being that what he is.
We gotta
Talk
pull.
about the
We gotta
union.
pull up Brody's progress report. Make sure he did his work. For
Keep out.
school
We just
for
need, like,
Friday.
35, 45 more minutes to talk about soccer.
Nah.
No.
Yeah, no,
All right.
We
So
talk
we-
flag
we-
football?
We all agree that Carson was a bad guy or he was a good guy. We all agree on that.
I could
We
argue
all
that
agree
if Frank
that this
Reich never left, then
Oh.
he might have still. It might
doesn't
not have
matter. You
changed.
can.
I'm not
this is-
even
this is-
kidding. Brody's
this is
sleeping over
me.
my house on Saturday. He's
This
going to
is-
school my
yeah.
kids on what they need to know.
Would Carson be able
This
to,
is me
would Frank
wrapping up.
Reich be able to keep
Wrap it
Carson
up.
This is
healthy?
me wrapping it up.
Brody, I need to
This
get
is
your
me.
Snapchat. I need to get your info.
All right.
I got to introduce you to my
Oh, God,
kids.
he's
Let's be
gonna be
careful
sending
with
them
that.
like
Yeah.
Snapchat pictures. Hey,
Yeah.
Brody.
This is me wrapping it up.
I don't understand
All
why
right.
that's got to
I'm
be
in.
weird. I've got kids that are the same age as him. Why do you guys make it weird?
We all agree that
You said
Carson
it was
either
weird.
left or left.
I didn't make it
Yeah,
weird.
you
I just
said
said
that.
hang it. Brody, I want you to hang out with my
No,
kids
you
and
said
school
it
them.
sounds a little awkward. I want you to
No,
sleep
no.
over.
When
You guys made it awkward.
I like
All I said
Brody.
was I want Brody to hang out with
Yeah,
my
yeah.
kids and school them.
Brody, I want you to sleep over, and then later in the show, you talked about having 3 balls in your mouth, so it's a little awkward.
Brody, I just need you to school my kids. That's all I
All right,
need.
we're wrapping this up. We're
They
wrapping
made
this
this
up.
weird.
Can you mute the other mics so I can do something here?
Wrap it up.
All right, folks. It was another just bouncing off the walls episode of the Santa Booth. No, I don't know. I muted all the mics. I let you guys run through the whole show, and now I'm shutting it down. It just happens. It was you were running it. So it was good. Thanks to our guests, Ryan Smith, Smitty, Brody, Steve Lybrand from the Sarkcast. Kevon, thanks for keeping us live. I don't know why you didn't cut our mic sooner. We won't be here next week. We will have the draft next week. We'll be back the week after. We'll see where the Eagles fall. I think we all agree that we have no idea what the Eagles are going to do. Howie will screw it up in some way. Sixers need to get their shit together. And Phils need a center fielder. And yes, eat your cheese curls like a non-psychotic person with your fingers.
Oh,